I'm a screamer anyway, so don't worry. We don't need a mic today. All right, guys, you want to get going today? Yeah? Look at this great turnout. This is awesome, right? So everybody in this room knows that this is going to be a 3-hour session. Yes? So who are my high D personalities in the room? All right, be patient. Okay, so start a little slow. I'm going to have to tell you my story. There's some key lessons in my story. Okay, but once I get through my story, guys, I'm going to teach you everything I've learned along the way. We will take a bathroom break halfway through this class. If you've got to go to the bathroom, please get up and go to the bathroom. Okay, but that's when we'll take a break. All right. But guys, I'm gonna start this class off. All right, and I start my class off with a disclaimer every time. And here's my disclaimer: I am not a MAPS coach. I am not a Keller Williams master faculty. I mean, I'm not even Keller Williams approved. So any opinions or thoughts that I express today do not reflect those of Keller Williams International or your leadership. And I hope that gets you a little bit excited, because now I'm going to say whatever I want to say now. All right. But let's give a round of applause to Chad and to Namish and everybody else in leadership that got me here. It's like the second or third time I've been here, Chad. But not every leadership team wants to unleash me on their associates. So thanks for being bold, and I hope this goes well. All right. All right, guys, we're going to get in this class. All right. So here's how I start my class off. It's with a very simple question for all of you. And here's my question for you. Is it important to you to actually believe in what you're selling, or to be passionate about what you're selling? Is that important to you? Guys, I would tell you that's pretty critical for me. And trust me when I tell you I've tried to fake it, okay? I graduated from Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia, back in the day with a sociology degree and a 2.0 GPA. I had a very good time in college. But when I came out of college, I was basically qualified for 2 career paths: either be a social worker and make 35, 40K a year the rest of my life, or get into sales. And, guys, I'd always consider myself a natural born salesman. I think my parents probably had some different adjectives to describe my talents back then, but I got in sales, and I was attracted to these corporate sales jobs with the promises of making tons of money. And I go to these jobs, and I realized 6 months, a year after I started that job, oh my God, I cannot see myself selling this product or service 3-5 years from now. So I leave that sales job, I go to another sales job. And after about a decade in sales, I had nothing to show for it but debt, because I never stuck around long enough in a sales job to build up any kind of momentum. And so I got to a point in my life where I said, look, something's got to change. Either I got to bite the bullet and sell something I don't believe in or that I'm not passionate about, or I better find something that I am passionate about. And guys, that is what brought me into a residential real estate career. Because as agents, what's the product that you sell? What do you sell? You sell homes, but you sell something a little bit more yourself. And I want to, you're totally right. I'm just trying to make sure that we all agree in this room. If you're an agent, you are the reason buyers and sellers work with you. Yes? And if there was a better real estate company for you to run your business at, I would expect you to be there. Okay. And I would expect all of your customers to follow you. But guys, when you're a great agent and you're committed to being the local real estate expert and you covet the customer experience, right? There should be a sense of being genuine in what you're selling, right? I mean, when a buyer or seller would be lucky to work with you or your team, that's a powerful feeling, right? All right, so that's what brought me into real estate, was the idea that I'm the product in this industry. Now, here's my story. I came out of licensing school in Atlanta, Georgia, back in 2001. And I'm going to take a wild guess and say they don't teach you anything in real estate school here either. They teach you how to pass a test, yes? So guys, coming out of real estate school, not only did I have no idea what it took to be successful as a real estate agent, I didn't even understand how real estate companies were even different. And back in 2001, there was a local company in Atlanta called Northside Realty. They had about 10 offices in Atlanta. One of them was literally walking distance from my house. So being the poster boy for ADHD, I, of course, walked into that office. They, of course, offered me a job. I accepted that job, did not interview with any other real estate companies. Bam, I became a Northside agent. Now, I got nothing bad to say about that company. Wonderful people, family atmosphere. I sold with them for about 8 months. Then Northside was bought by Coldwell Banker. And this was pitched to us like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You now have the honor and the privilege of marketing this globally recognized brand. So guys, I became a Coldwell Banker agent. I sold with Coldwell Banker for about 2 more years, all right? We're now into 2003. And guys, back in 2003, we were still Keller Who in Atlanta. And I don't know if anybody's been to Atlanta recently, Trust me when I tell you there is nobody in Atlanta saying Keller who anymore, because every other yard sign is a Keller Williams sign, all right? But back then, KW was this emerging company. And, guys, I was happy at Coldwell Banker. I wasn't thinking about leaving. And to be honest with you, my impressions of KW back then, they weren't super positive, because some of the top agents in my Coldwell Banker office had been recruited by some Keller Williams agents, right? And of course, when I say recruited, I mean vomited Keller Williams on. And they came back into my office. They said, I don't know what's going on with these KW agents. All they're going to try to do is try to recruit you. It's some sort of pyramid scheme. They're drinking Kool-Aid over there. And I know we've heard these ridiculous myths. My guess is they're probably still saying it around here. Yeah, a little bit. Even though we're the #1 company in every category, they're still saying it. All right. But guys, in the absence of the truth, I just trusted these rumors and these myths that I heard. So happy at Coldwell Banker, wasn't thinking about leaving. Here's how I joined our company. I did a deal with a great Keller Williams agent, who, by the way, gave me an MREA book as a closing gift, okay? But she asked me to come over to her market center and drop off some documents, okay? And when I got to her office, I found myself in a little conversation with her and her team leader. And guys, once I saw how the commission structure really worked, once I saw how low the fees were, once I saw the training calendar, once I walked around that market center and felt the energy, guys, it was a no-brainer. Look, I loved everybody I worked with at Coldwell Banker, but why would I stay there? I'm giving up half of my commissions. I'm not getting anything for what I'm paying. I might as well just come to KW, do more business, net more money, and I'm pretty sure all my customers will follow me to KW, which is exactly what happened. Now, when that team leader started to talk about profit share, I stopped her in her tracks and I said, look, I will never recruit anybody to Keller Williams, all right? I'm in this business to sell houses. I'm not in this business to recruit. I don't want to know how it works. I don't want to hear about it again. Leave me alone and let me do my own thing. And the point I'm trying to get across to all of you is, how could I even think about attracting people to this company if I hadn't first experienced it as an agent first, okay? So it was very dismissive of profit share. Now, guys, I was very lucky. I joined an incredible market center in Atlanta, Georgia, run by a guy named Sean Rawls. I don't know if anybody knows that name, Sean Rawls, but guys, the Rawls Group, they own 7 market centers in Atlanta. Every single one of them is in the top 200 in profitability in KW. The Atlanta Peachtree Road Market Center that I joined is a top 10 market center in KW, has given back over $1 million in profit share a year for the last 7 years. So here's where I'm going with this. I joined an incredible Keller Williams Market Center that actually follows the model. What a crazy idea. You follow this proven model that actually works. So guess what they do? They invest in their agents. Top agents teach classes. They share their ideas. People buy into our culture. There's a sense of purpose there. So guys, I went through an evolution as far as being interested in profit share. And the very first step of that was I had to experience Keller Williams the way it was supposed to be experienced first. I was at KW for 2 years, never even thought about recruiting. Just enjoying my experience at this company. Then I was asked to be on the ALC. Who are our ALC members in here? Okay, now guys, you sit on your first ALC meeting. Doesn't that kind of change the way you look at this company a little bit, right? You go from, oh my God, I love Keller Williams, to holy smokes, we're making the decisions in this company. We're open book. And Chad, last time I checked, ALC meetings are open to everyone. Yes? Okay, so guys, if you want to have any success attracting people to this company, just trust me. Sit in on one ALC meeting. That will change the way you look at this company. Then I had a chance to go to Family Reunion in 2005. Who's been to these events, guys? Family Reunion, Mega Camp. Did these events change the way you look at this company, Andrew? Yeah? So I go to Family Reunion in 2005 as an agent. By the way, in 2005, KW was ranked 5th in the US. We had 32,000 agents. What do we got today, Chad? Almost 200,000 agents worldwide, all right? But, I go there as an agent, dive into all the training, the sharing of ideas. Then I make my way to state of the company. There's Gary Keller. God bless him. Dave Jenks was up there on stage, and they were doing state of the company. They were talking about what was happening with our company, what was happening with our competition. And then Gary Keller said 2 things that stuck with me. First thing Gary Keller said is the #1 income producing activity that a KW associate can participate in is attracting other agents to Keller Williams. He's kind of a smart guy. You might want to pay attention to what he has to say. Second thing Gary Keller said, many of the leaders of this industry 5 years from now, they're not even in the business yet. Raise your hands if you've been in the business for less than 5 years. I mean, guys, every time I ask this question, probably about half the room raises their hands. And just go to Family Reunion, guys. Look up on stage. Some of these top agents have been in the business for less than 5 or 6 years. So here's what happened. I come back from family reunion, and all these things are swirling around in my head. My experiences at Caldwell Banker, my experiences at KW, what was happening with our company, what was happening with our competition. And I will not lie to you, the idea of making money without working with buyers and sellers slightly appealed to me as well. And you know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyways, here's the deal. It's going to be a tough crowd today. It's okay. I'll get to you. I'll get to you. I like a challenge. All right. Anyways, here's the deal. So guys, I landed it. I came back from family reunion. I landed at 11 o'clock at night. I got into bed about 1 o'clock in the morning. All this stuff is swirling around in my head. And I'm telling you guys, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And for a non-religious Jewish boy, it's about as close as I've ever gotten to a religious experience. But I had what I call my immaculate conception. All right. And my immaculate conception was, this is it. This is the product I've been looking for my whole life. And I'm not just talking about the wealth building opportunity of profit share, guys. I'm talking about the product that is KW and its value proposition to agents that think like business owners. And I'll tell you right now, I could have cared less how much money I could have made in profit share if I didn't first believe in this company and who we were first. So here was the idea. This is it. I'm going all in. I'm burning the boats. I'm making building wealth through profit share my one thing. And guys, there's a name of a book I'm never going to write. And it's called All or Nothing, the ADHDer's Guide to the Universe. All right. And the day I decided I was going to go all in on profit share is the last day I sold a house. I haven't sold a house since February of 2005. Now, the message here is not, why would you sell houses if you could recruit full time? Look, it's my own personal story. Okay. But if somebody in this room wants to stop selling real estate and recruit full time, don't you let anybody tell you you can't do it. Okay. This is my own personal story. Just try to remember this. I stopped selling real estate. I jumped into profit share with both feet where I wasn't making any money. It hasn't been all rainbows and unicorns over the years. All right. But the good news is those years are behind me, Andrew. Right now, here's the deal. Back then, there was an agent in my office, big time internet lead generator for real estate, way ahead of the curve. And I had a great synergy with him. And I was like, you know what, dude? I'm going to do what you're doing, except I'm going to do it on the internet. I'm going to do it for new agents off the internet. So guys, back in 2005, in March of 2005, I launched a recruiting website. All right. And I'm a big fan of the saying, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. If I had gone to international back in 05 and said, hey, I got this great idea, I want to launch a recruiting website, I kind of have an idea what their answer would have been. So rather than hearing that answer, I went to Sean Rawls, my OP. I said, Sean, I want you to be my sounding board. So when Mo Anderson finds out what I'm doing, she's not going to be mad at me. All right. So guys, I launched this website in March of 2005. And there was a real sense of urgency for me. Like, this is my lottery ticket moment. I'm the first person in the history of KW to do this. Somebody's going to come along with more money and blow me out of the water, or maybe somebody's going to tell me to stop. I don't know how long I can do this for. So that sense of urgency led me to start throwing money at internet lead gen. And back in March of 2005, I started dropping $3,000 to $4,000 a month on websites like monster.com, Career Builder. I was running ads in every city Keller Williams had an office in on Craigslist back when it was free. Okay. Guys, I spent $3,000 to $4,000 a month for 3.5 years straight. I spent over $100,000 in that 3.5 year window. That is how much I believed in that moment. And by the way, I had 100% market share for Keller Williams careers online for 3.5 years straight. The only competition I had online was the career page on kw.com. And I'm the first person to tell you I was not following the MREA book, red light, green light, when it came to spending money. I was like, oh, you'll give me a credit card? Awesome. Green light, monster ads, all right? Back then I would have begged, borrowed, and stole for leads. Now here's what happened. I opened up my inbox one morning, and there were 50 recruiting leads in there from people all around North America that were interested in starting a real estate career and interested in KW. And guys, that was every day for 3.5 years straight, 50 plus recruiting leads a day. So I had what I call my big, oh my God moment. And my oh my God moment was, oh my God, what do I say to these people? No one's ever told me what to say. In my entire career at KW, all I've ever heard in Nimesh is, oh, honey, yeah, you don't need to know how it works. Just say you love Keller Williams. Can you have a team leader call you? Does that script ring a bell for anybody in this room today? Not the most compelling script when you're dealing with internet leads you don't have a relationship with. So here's what I did. I started jumping on the phones. I was doing 5 to 7 hour phone calls a day, 7 days a week for 3.5 years straight. And I adopted 2 mentalities on the phone with these recruits. First mentality I adopted was that of a real estate agent. Is it your job as a real estate agent to tell your clients what to do? Yes or no? Trick question. Actually, it's not your job to tell them what to do. It's your job to educate them so that they can make the most educated decisions for themselves. I'll just tell you this right now. You start telling your clients what to do, that's how you get in trouble, okay? So first mindset is, I'm just going to tell these recruits everything they need to know to make the best decision for themselves. And by the way, I always want to have a conversation with them that I wish somebody had had with me. I mean, can you imagine if you could have talked to yourself when you were coming out of real estate school? What kind of wisdom could you have imparted upon yourself? Yeah. So that was the first mindset was, you know what? I'm just going to help these people make the most educated decisions. Second mindset I adopted. I got 2 customers, the recruit and the leadership team of the market center I'm referring them to. At the end of the day, I want both of these customers to think I value what's best for them than what's best for me. And Nimesh, if I had sent you every lead I got off the internet, you wouldn't answer my phone calls, all right? I want you to see me as a source of ongoing quality referrals, okay? Now, guys, I want to say this too. You know, when you're the first person to do something in a company like KW, just trust me when I tell you all eyes are on you. And they ain't all rooting for your success, just so you all know. But here's the deal. I always want to do things right from day one. So I always asked on my website from day one, I've asked every recruiting lead I have ever captured, have you ever previously spoken to one of our associates about a career at KW? Do you have a friend or family member at Keller Williams? Now, why would I ask internet recruiting leads those questions? Why? Exactly. I'm just going to break it down for you. It's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. I'm a mindset of abundance guy. I'm not a mindset of scarcity guy. I got 50 leads a day. My guess is that personal relationship probably played a factor in them deciding to fill out my career form. But I also can't tell you how many hour-long phone calls I've had where in the 60th minute they want to tell me their best friend or sister is a Keller Williams agent. And I'm thinking, how do I get that hour of my life back? So not only is it the right thing to do, it's smart business. And guys, I live by a Mark Twain quote. And that Mark Twain quote is, when you always tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. Yeah, good luck challenging my integrity. You'll lose every time. I have captured over 3,000 recruiting leads since 2005. They said they had had a previous conversation with someone at KW or a family member at our company. I found out who they knew. I sent that lead directly back to them, giving them a chance to recruit. All right. Now, here's where we are today. Guys, I have so in 2005, I sponsored my first agent in April of 2005. By the end of 2005, I personally sponsored 130 agents to Keller Williams that year. Okay. These are predominantly brand new agents off the internet. 2006, I sponsored another 100 plus agents to Keller Williams. Now, does anybody remember what happened in 2007? Now, I'm not saying the shift was a conspiracy against me, but it felt like it, okay? Just imagine for a moment coming up with this lottery ticket moment, building wealth through predominantly brand new agents through profit share. You bring them all in 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, and the market hits the fan, yeah? So after I got out of my fetal position in the corner screaming, why? It's a great quote from Gary Keller that's kept me going all these years. And Gary Keller said it best: the greatest shift of wealth and opportunity are in down cycles or time of crisis, not up cycles. Yeah? So guys, here's the deal. I burned the boats. Failure was not an option. I'm all in. So after I dusted off myself and got up and stopped crying, I got back on the phones. And, you know, I want to be a little bit vulnerable with you guys, okay? I won the Growth Partner of the Year award for this entire company in 05 and 06. That's the person who sponsored the most people each year. I walked across the stage at family reunion 2 years in a row. People were chanting my name. I shook Gary Keller's hand 2 years in a row. In 2008, I was strapping an apron on. Oh, guys, I had to get a second job. I mean, I shut my real estate business down. It's not like I could just turn it back up again. You know, I needed a job where I could go make some instant money that wasn't going to stress me out. So, guys, I got a second job waiting tables. And I was waiting tables 6 nights a week, 2 lunches, brunch on Sunday. And I'd take my tip money. I'd pay off my monster bills, and I would recruit when I wasn't waiting tables. Now, a couple of cool things happened when I was waiting tables. Number one, I met my wife at that restaurant. My wife is a professional photographer in Atlanta, 6 foot tall, mermaid. Andrew knows what she looks like. The only way a guy like me could ever meet a girl like that was at the restaurant. But we got married in that restaurant, okay? And she didn't love me for how much money I had because I was broke back then, all right? But it's funny, guys, you know, when you get married, it's kind of funny how your why changes a little bit, yeah? So my wife's like, yeah, honey, crossing your fingers on the 21st of the month deal, yeah, that ain't working for me. You better go out there and start selling some houses again or figure out another way to make money. And then my wife kicked me out of my comfort zone to build this class, which, by the way, I've been lucky enough to be teaching for over a decade around Keller Williams. And I'm going to say this year, I'm going to teach it 80, 90 times around Keller Williams in person. And one of my favorite sayings about Keller Williams is not just about what you get, it's about who you become. I could never imagine that I would have ended up here today when I started this journey. All right, so guys, here's the deal. Something else happened during the shift. A couple of my recruits came to me and they said, we want to learn how to recruit. I said, awesome. I'm so burned out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not only going to teach you how to recruit, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to give you the leads. I want you guys to think about this like an MREA team, yeah? People I've sponsored at KW, they're like my buyer's agents, right? What better manifestation of success through others than to help people that are in my downline, she's in my downline, help them grow their downline, right? We're both building each other's profit share, right? So guys, here's the deal. I was a top, there was one of the guys that I brought to Keller Williams, a guy named Brent Mitchell. I don't know who knows that name, but guys, Brent Mitchell's in Austin, Texas, and he started working my leads. And then he came to me and he said, Aaron, first of all, I'm sick of getting all your crappy leads. Because of course I was keeping the good leads for myself. That's how it works, right? Leads and leverage. The second thing Brent said to me is, you know what? I think I can do this better than you. I said, what do you mean you can do this better than me? I'm Aaron Kaufman. I didn't say that, all right? But you know what Brent Mitchell did? Oh, he went out there and he did it better than me. I have personally sponsored over 400 agents directly to Keller Williams. Brent Mitchell has sponsored over 1,800 people to Keller Williams. He's won the Growth Partner of the Year award 11 times. And one of his recruits just passed me. So, you know, my title used to be I'd sponsored the most people in the history of Keller Williams. Yeah, now my new title is I've sponsored the third most people in the history of Keller Williams, and the two people above me are in my profit share tree, and I'm finally okay with that, all right? But Chad, what does Gary Keller say? Attract people to your business that are better than you than what you do, yeah? Yeah, Brent Mitchell's a better recruiter than me. I'm a better teacher and coach. That's why I teach and coach full-time, and that's why he builds our downlines for us full-time. Now, here's where we are today. So I have personally sponsored over 400 agents to KW. They were all predominantly brand new agents off the internet. I brought them in between 2005 and about 2011. For the last 10 years, I've been playing the long game, growing it through my recruits. Sponsored over 400. Right now, I have less than 30 active agents left on my first level. Sponsored over 400, I'm down to 30. Now, before you freak out, I want you to consider this. During the shift, 1 out of 10 brand new agents were still in the business 1 year later. 3 years later, 1 out of 10 of those people were still in the business. That means during the shift, 1 out of 100 brand new licensees were in the business 3 years later. So for 1 out of 12, 1 out of 13 of my agents to still be in the business 10, 12, 15 years later, you know what? I'll take it. But here's the cool thing about right now. Right now, I got 532 people on my second level. I got 521 people on my third level. I have 1,500 people in my tree right now, of which 95% of them are on my top 4 levels. And for the people that understand profit share in this room, which we will get into today, there are people in this company that are making upwards of $1 million a year. Linda McKissick, Mike Brody, Althea Osborne. Guys, they make all of their money off their lower levels, right? The saying goes, if you build it wide, time will take it deep. Time is the only variable I can't control, all right? And I'll just tell you this, Brent Mitchell, he finished 21, he made $191,000 in profit share. I made $85,000 in profit share, but here's the cool thing. We're the only 2 people in the top 100 that make all of our money off of our top 4 levels. Everybody else in the top 100 makes all their money off of their lower 3 or 4 levels. So just keep that in mind, all right? Now, here's the deal, guys. There's another great saying at KW. Things happen gradually, then suddenly, yeah? My profit share tree has grown by a net of 225 people in the last 12 months. And I haven't sponsored anybody to KW in that period of time. So look, I believe my profit share is going to grow by 10 to 15% a year, every year for the rest of my life and beyond. And people that know my story know I bought 5 acres of land on a little island in the Caribbean off of Puerto Rico called Culebra, 11 square mile island, has 1,800 residents. I would be building my house right now if it wasn't for the pandemic. But when pricing goes down in the Caribbean, I'm gonna build my Cat 5 rated Fortress of Solitude. And when my profit share goes McKissick, and I'm trademarking that, you're never gonna hear from me again. And here's where I'm going with this. Whether you guys believe me or not is absolutely irrelevant. I believe me. And building wealth through profit share, this ain't a fast way to make money, all right? This takes faith. It takes task over time. Now, here's the good news today. Today, I'm going to teach you everything I've learned in the last 17 years. Whether or not you go out there and do anything with what I tell you, that's up to you. But I'm going to promise you one thing today. If you make it through this 3-hour class, and you ain't all going to make it, I can promise you that. But if you make it through this 3-hour class, you ain't going to walk out of this room claiming ignorance anymore. So let's get into it, okay? Now, guys, here's the deal. I would say it's fair to say the last 2 years qualify for a time of crisis. Yeah? Well, here's the good news. We were born in a shift. We took over this industry in the last shift. And I kind of have a feeling we're about to redefine this industry in this present shift. And I'll just tell you right now, you better believe what I just said and who we are and where we're going. Because I'll tell you right now, I think we're on the brink of what is going to be the greatest growth spurt in the history of Keller Williams. And I'll just tell you right now, I'm doubling down. I'm spending more money. I'm spending more time growing this company. I think every cent and every second that I invest into growing KW right now is going to have an exponential return. But guys, it's moments like these that we need to look in the mirror as a company and figure out how can we be better. And the first place that I look for room for improvement is simply the percentage of KW associates that even participate in profit share. Right now, less than 35% of all KW associates even participate in profit share. But here's the real truth. 20% of those people will always make 80% of the profit share. So you do the little math there. It's about 7% of us will always make 80% of the profit share. So here's where I'm going with this. Guys, we're the #1 real estate company on this planet. We have 0 debt. We just had our biggest profit share year in the history of our company during a pandemic. And we're still the best kept secret within our own company. So I don't know about you guys. I'm thinking now's a good enough time than ever to let the secret out. Because can you imagine for a moment what this market center could look like if the majority of your agents were participating in profit share? If they were thinking and acting like real stakeholders, what would it look like from a cultural perspective, a growth perspective, a retention perspective? How much bigger would all your profit share checks be right now if the majority of your agents were participating in profit share and buying into our value proposition? So I want to be very clear. I am here today to inspire you. I am here to empower you. I want you to shout our story from the mountaintops to all these agents we're not in business with. But what you should care more about than that are the agents we're already in business with. Because what are you building this market center on top of if 20% maybe of your agents even know our value proposition at a high level? So let's just make sure we lock the back door first before we go out there and try to recruit all these agents to KW, okay? Now, as far as attracting other agents to our company, let me be very clear. It's not your job to recruit. That's leadership's job. Your #1 recruiting tool is sitting in the back of the room here. These are paid salary leaders whose #1 job it is to build wealth for you. Serve them up, they'll close them, all right? Your job is to simply excite the recruit, do the best job you can to pre-qualify them, secure the appointment, i.e. make the appointment. Don't just tell them to walk into a KW office, and follow up. And hopefully some of these conversations I'm about to have with you today are going to help you meet those standards and get into higher level, more authentic conversations with people about our company and get more purposeful about growing your 401 KW, okay? Let's get into this. It's a lively room today. This is why I usually don't teach afternoon classes. These people are all ready to take a nap right now. It's okay though. I drank a 5-hour energy, so I'll be good to go. All right, here's the deal. First concept I want to share with you guys today comes from one of my most favorite people on this planet. His name is Simon Sinek. Who knows that guy, Simon Sinek, right? So here's the deal with Simon Sinek, guys. He's a marketing communications guru. He consults with top companies, top organizations, helping them create their marketing and communication strategies. Written several books. One book's called Start With Why. Another book's called Leaders Eat Last. And his last book is called The Infinite Game. The guy's got a very powerful TED Talk video, 18-minute TED Talk video. It's called The Golden Circle. I highly recommend you watch this video and you show it at your next stakeholder meeting. But let me break it down for you guys today. And this is pulled up this close for the Zoom. So I hope you guys can see over there, all right? But here's the deal. Here's the golden circle, all right? Now, in the very middle of the golden circle, guys, I want you to write why, how, and what, all right? Why, how, what. Now, this is a marketing concept that can basically explain why some people, some organizations can inspire, why some companies can create true consumer loyalty, and why others can't. Now, let me quickly define these things for you. All right, everybody in this room, every organization, every company knows what they do or what they sell. My guess is most of you probably know how you do what you do. And at KW, we call that your unique selling proposition or your USP. But my guess is very few people in this room, very few organizations and companies truly understand why they do what they do and know how to incorporate that into their marketing and conversations. Now, here's what Simon Sinek did, guys. He looked back at history, at the leaders and organizations that were able to inspire, the companies that created true consumer loyalty. And what he realized was this: they all communicated exactly the same way and completely the opposite of everybody else. Now, here's the way most people and companies communicate. They communicate the natural way, from the clearest to the fuzziest, from the outside in. They say what they do or what they sell. They say how they're different or how they're unique. And then they expect some sort of action or response. We make the best cars. They get the best gas mileage. Don't you want to buy one? That's the way most people and companies communicate, from the outside in. But what Simon Sinek found was the people who were able to inspire, the companies that created true consumer loyalty, they all communicated from the inside out, from their why. Now, let me give you a couple great examples of this at work. And I'm going to go right to a real estate example. You got two real estate agents. They both sell the most houses in a neighborhood. They both go on a listing appointment in that neighborhood. First agent goes on that listing appointment, and here's what their listing presentation sounds like. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm the best agent in your neighborhood. I sell the most houses. I've got the best marketing plan. Don't you want to hire me? Sound familiar? First agent is marketing themselves from the outside in. Second agent goes on this listing appointment. Here's what their presentation sounds like. You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? Yeah, I'm actually driven by something more than just selling your house. I want to create customers for life. And the way I create customers for life is I commit to being the local real estate expert. I operate with a high level of integrity. I've got great customer service, great communication skills. I just so happen to sell the most houses in your neighborhood. Now, obviously, the second agent has a more powerful listing presentation. And guys, if all you take for my session today is applying the golden circle to your real estate business, you will thank me for that, because I'll guarantee you right now, on the next listing appointment you go on, every agent you'll be competing against, they will all be marketing themselves from the outside in. If you can be the one agent that can come from the inside out and can communicate your why at a high level, that's how you'll connect with a seller on a deeper level. And the quote you need to write down or try to remember from the golden circle is this: Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Okay, high Ds, here's where I'm going with all of this. We know at KW, all of the whats are better here. I mean, I'm sorry, Zoe, do we not have the best training, education, technology, systems, models, culture, leadership, and vision? Yes or no? But Zoe, we get frustrated when we share all of those things with an agent in another real estate company that's not getting any of that stuff. We're frustrated when they don't want to find out more about KW. Well, the reason they don't want to find out more about KW is, of course, people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. So the goal of my session today is so simple. I'm going to do the best job I can today to teach you how to understand and how to communicate our value proposition at the highest level from the inside out. Because I'm telling you right now, if the agents you were trying to attract to this company actually understood why and how we were inherently different? I don't know. I'm thinking they'd already be here by now. And Nimish, this is the same reason less than 35% of your agents participate in profit share. Think about it, guys. When we try to inspire you to participate in profit share, we dangle the carrot of the profit share money in front of your faces and we say, hey, don't you want some profit share? Don't you want to build some passive income for you and your family? There's not one KW associate in our company that doesn't want to earn more profit share and build more passive income for them and their family. So why is less than 35% participating in it? The answer is simple. Profit share money is a what? It doesn't drive the behavior and it never will. And I'll tell you right now, personally, I could have cared less how much money I could have made in profit share if I didn't first believe in Keller Williams and who we were as a company and where we're going. So if Nimish, we're going to get more of your agents participating in profit share, if we're going to empower them to start thinking like real stakeholders, we might want to make sure that the agents we're already in business with actually understand and believe in who we are first. And if we're going to do that effectively at our company, guys, we're going to have to add another circle to the golden circle. Because guess what, at KW, we got another circle. And that circle is right here in the middle. And that circle in the middle at KW is the who. You guys think it's fair to say that KW's got a who? Yeah, what's his name? Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that our company's why is tethered to Gary Keller's why. Yes? I mean, what does he say, guys? When I die, my headstone will say I was a realtor. Paranoid Gary wakes up every morning worried about his agent partners. I mean, does anybody in this room actually think Gary Keller's driven by making another $1 billion? I mean, seriously? I mean, guys, let me tell you something. This is Gary Keller's legacy moment, okay? He's the guy. We're the company that's willing to fight for the future of your profession in an industry that's trying to turn you into low-paid door openers. So here's the deal. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And at KW, our why starts with our who and his why. And that's my very first action step for you. If you want to actually learn how to have a higher level conversation with someone about KW, just trust me. Listen to Gary Keller's podcast called Think Like a CEO. Gary Keller will literally take you from why he got into real estate, how his why shaped who we are as a company, and how his why is going to shape who we are moving forward. You cannot have a high-level conversation with someone about KW if you cannot communicate who Gary Keller is and what his big why is, okay? Now, guys, I saw a great interview 3 years ago with my boy Simon Sinek. And somebody asked Simon Sinek 3 years ago, they said, in the digital age, what are people going to be craving from their employer and their workplace? Now, this was 3 years ago. And guys, we ain't just in the digital age now. No. What's that? Well, that too. But I'm just saying, we're right now in the middle of our most extended digital experience we've ever had, right? I mean, I've been freaking Zooming for 2 years straight. I haven't left my house or even gotten out of my pajamas for 2 years, okay? But here's where I'm going with this. When somebody asked Simon Sinek that question 3 years ago, here's what his answer was. He said, in the digital age, people are going to be craving from their employer and their workplace a sense of purpose and a sense of community. And I want you guys to think about that for a second. A sense of purpose and a sense of community in the digital age. Let's talk about purpose for a second. Okay. I think it's fair to say that we are led by the most innovative mind our industry has ever seen, who, by the way, has a 40-year track record for being the agent advocate in our entire industry. And even though he's got the #1 company on this planet that has zero debt, is more profitable than it's ever been in a pandemic, Gary Keller is completely reinventing his entire company for the sole purpose of protecting all agents, not just KW agents, all agents from an industry that's trying to turn you into low-paid functionaries. I don't know, Andrew. I think that's probably a pretty good recipe for owning purpose in our industry moving forward. What do you guys think? Yeah? Okay. Let's talk about community for a second. Okay. Guys, we're a part of the only true agent-centric, interdependent real estate company where agents are actually vested in a true common goal and have a real incentive to work together and care about each other in an industry that's always been dog eat dog. I don't know. I'm thinking that's probably a pretty good recipe for owning community in our industry moving forward. What do you guys think? Because here's where I'm going with this. I think as we go deeper into the digital age, I actually think our purpose and our community is going to be even more valuable. What do you guys think? Because I'll tell you this right now. This pandemic has turned all of our lives upside down, okay? I think it's fair to say that our country is more divided than it has ever been. Yeah? But you know what, guys? I get a little peace of mind knowing that I'm a part of a global real estate company of almost 200,000 stakeholders that are bound together by purpose and community, that have a real incentive to work together and care about each other in an industry that's always been dog eat dog. And God forbid something bad happens to me or a natural disaster hits this town or my town. That's more important to me. But your town was hit by Hurricane Harvey, what, 5-6 years ago? How did this company respond to that, right? I'll just tell you this, guys. I honestly couldn't care less what our competition's compensation models are, or what kind of checks they're writing, or what their freaking stock prices are doing. Their who and their why, it ain't big enough for me. And just remember this, in the absence of value, price will be our competition's only conversation. And I ain't having the price conversation. I'm having the purpose and community conversation. And as I go deeper into this class, I'm going to really try to dive deeper into KW's why. Once I can establish that why, I'm going to show you how that why can explain why all the whats are better here. Are you guys following me today? Yes? Because I feel like I'm on fire. Now, based on what I'm seeing from here, I feel like I'm like doing like a, an accounting seminar today. But I'm killing it. I know I'm killing it. That's all good. I'm just saying I want to make sure these people are with me because I ain't doing this for me today. Okay? Now, I know it's okay. That's what shock and awe. That's my style. Okay. Now, next conversation comes from a guy named Stephen Covey. Who knows Stephen Covey? Yeah, he wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, check this out, guys. In that book, Stephen Covey says there is a natural evolution that very successful people go through from a mindset standpoint to be successful. And here's what Stephen Covey says. Stephen Covey says, everybody starts in a dependent mindset. You're born. You're dependent on your family to take care of you. Then a portion of those people evolve into an independent mindset. Some of you guys might have some college grads living in your basement that need to evolve, all right? But the most successful people, the most effective people, they ultimately evolve into an interdependent mindset. Now, would everybody in this room agree? Working through people, success through others, teamwork, probably more conducive to being successful at a higher level. Do we agree with that? All right, here's where I'm going with this. Guys, Gary Keller was reading this book right about the time he launched Keller Williams. And Gary Keller had his big aha moment. And here's what Gary Keller's aha moment was. What Stephen Covey is talking about? Well, that's actually an analogy for the real estate industry. And I want you guys to pay attention because this is everything. And I know we've got some newer agents in this room and some younger agents. You need to know how this industry used to always work. Guys, 40 plus years ago, if you wanted to go look at a house as a buyer, this is literally what you would have to do. You would have to physically go down to the local real estate office where you would then flip through a 3-ring binder because that's where all the listing information was. And then those companies would get you access into homes. So back in the day, real estate companies controlled the information. They controlled access into homes. And guess what? The real estate companies that did the best job marketing their company's logos to home buyers and sellers, well, they got all the business. And then, of course, agents went to those companies that could generate business, where they then, of course, treated you like an employee. They took half of your commissions, and they taught you how to service their business. So back in the day, there was really only one kind of real estate company in this industry. The old-fashioned, traditional, brand-centric, dependent real estate companies like Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Prudential, local real estate companies, okay? Well, check this out, guys. Before I say that, let me say this. Basically, back in the day, real estate companies and their brands, they were the product of our industry, essentially. So then this little thing happened called the internet. And now all of a sudden, all this information that these traditional companies are controlling, well, now it's freely accessible to home buyers and sellers. I mean, obviously you can buy a house today without even stepping foot in it, correct? So check this out. When the internet happened, a shift happened in our industry. And this is what the shift was. The product of our industry shifted from the real estate companies and their brands to the real estate agents and their relationships and their customer service. And right about the time the internet happened, something else happened in our industry, guys. Out came the independent model. 100% companies, Remax. And guys, when Remax came out with their 100% model, they absolutely exploded in our industry because all these agents over at these dependent companies that started to realize, wait a second, I'm the reason I do business, not my real estate company. Why again am I giving up 50% of my commission when all I get is lockboxes, signs, and a golden blazer? Well, maybe I should just come over to this company that's not going to give me anything for what I'm paying, but I get to control my costs and make 95, 100% of my commission. So guys, Remax comes out with their independent model. They absolutely explode. And if the dependent model was more of an employer-employee relationship type model, Remax's model was more of a landlord-tenant relationship. You just pay Remax an upfront franchise fee. You don't get a lot of training and support, but you keep 95, 100% of your commission. So Gary Keller realized in that moment, what Stephen Covey was talking about was ultimately going to be the next evolution of our industry. And Gary Keller said, you know what? I might as well be the first person to do it. And guys, here's a question for you. Is Keller Williams an interdependent real estate company? Yes or no? Boy, this is a lively group today. This is awesome. Are we an interdependent real estate company, Andrew? Are we in a partnership with each other and our owners? Are we all trying to build something bigger together here? And I ain't just talking about profit share. I'm talking about technology too. But I hope everybody in this room would agree that Keller Williams is an interdependent real estate company. Just know this. There's a reason we took over this entire industry in 35 years without spending a dime marketing our logo. Because we were the highest evolution of the real estate industry. And I hope you would all agree, when actually bought into on a local level, and here's the kicker for KW, it's just a model. If local ownership, leadership, and agents don't buy into it, guess what? It doesn't work. But when we buy into this, you know, agents who value what we value will do more business, net more money, build a better quality of life, and they should never leave our company. Now, Gary Keller's got an absolutely brilliant quote about this flow chart. And here's what Gary Keller says. Gary Keller says a real estate agent cannot go from dependent to interdependent without going through independent first. Interdependence is only a decision independent agents can make. So let me translate that for you. It's just as important to know what you're saying and how you are saying it as it is who you are saying it to. But guys, you have got to understand the moment we are in right now. I mean, we are literally in the middle of a battle for the future of your profession, and you better believe that, okay? And guys, this industry is shifting quickly. Here's the good news. Gary Keller and KW are going to stay ahead of this industry. And Gary Keller believes now that if we're going to win this war against these Wall Street-backed tech disruptors, and you better believe it's a war, and I want to make a point real fast, they're called prop tech companies, right? By the way, prop tech companies, basically a company that is backed by Wall Street that wants to eliminate your role in this industry or at least turn you into a low-paid functionary. Heads up, there's $200 billion back in these prop tech companies. You could buy every real estate company in the US for $20 billion. There's 10 times the money behind these prop tech companies that are trying to turn you into low-paid functionaries. Just keep that in mind. So Gary Keller believes now that if we're going to win that war, if we're going to beat these virtual revenue-sharing real estate companies that are aggressively recruiting our fellow stakeholders, if we're going to protect your profession and solidify your profit share legacies for generations to come, guys, moving forward, Keller Williams is going to have to be the preferred real estate company for all three of these types of agents moving forward. I'm going to tell you right now, this is what has me more excited about the future of Keller Williams than I've been in my 17, 18-year career at this company. Here's what I want you to consider. We took over this entire industry, being the preferred real estate company for about 20% of the agents. Can you imagine what's about to happen as we cast a wider net and we become the preferred real estate company for dependent agents? I mean, imagine the possibilities for market share, for profit share, for data, how fast we'll be able to evolve our tech. And here's what I want you to think about for a second, guys. I think it's fair to say that we are in an industry that is dominated by dependent thinking agents. Maybe 80% of agents tend to lean to a more dependent mindset. Yes. So here's what I want you to think about. First of all, many interdependent agents, they actually started off as independent agents first. That's number one. Number two, the new agent talent pool has never been better than it is in this moment right now. I mean, there's some amazing talent that's been laid off by the pandemic or is changing real estate, changing careers and coming into real estate. And guys, here's what I want you to think about. If we could be the preferred real estate company for dependent agents and new agents, which we will be, They can come to KW. They can be born here, and they can grow through our company. Wouldn't you guys rather they come to KW, contribute to our market share, our profit share, our data, our insights, versus joining Zillow and undermining your profession? Yes. So guys, here's the deal. If you're trying to attract a new agent or a dependent agent to KW, let me give you a couple of recommendations. Number one, you probably shouldn't try to jam our interdependent value proposition down their dependent throats, because they're not even ready to be independent yet, let alone value interdependence. That's number one. Number two, new agents and dependent agents don't know what they don't know. Guys, I was at Caldwell Banker for almost 3 years. Till thank God I did that deal with that Keller Williams agent who gave me an MREA book. And when I started to read that book, I was like, oh my God, I'm not in the real estate business. I'm in the lead generation business. And yeah, I actually want to be a business owner. So why again am I at this dependent real estate company that doesn't offer me the training, coaching, and vision to grow into being an independent agent, and in many ways wants to proactively keep me in this dependent box? So guys, when I'm talking to new agents and dependent agents, here's my mindset. I'm always coming from contribution. I'm always coming from curiosity, and I am always starting with their why. Start with why, guys. There are two whys at play here. The recruit's why and KW's why. If these two whys don't match, they're not going to want to find out more about KW. So when I'm talking to a new agent, I'm like, hey, tell me your story. What's your big why? What do you want to get out of your real estate career? Where do you see yourself on this graph, and where do you want to go in the future? And here's the exciting thing about the moment we're in right now. There ain't going to be a wrong answer to that question anymore. So when an agent says, you know what, I just want to be able to push the easy button. I'm willing to give up 50% of my commission if you generate the lead for me and handle the transaction management. Fantastic. If you're a cultural fit for KW, I guarantee you there's going to be an amazing dependent opportunity here at our company, either on a team or directly with the market center. But I've yet to meet a new agent or a dependent agent that won't give me 5 to 10 minutes to show them the path to independence. And guys, I will walk every one of these agents through leads, listings, and leverage. And please tell me that that rings a bell for this room today. Because if it doesn't, please put reading the MREA book above listening to Gary Keller's podcast, okay? But guys, here's a great thing about giving an agent an MREA book or a shift book or having that leads, listings, and leverage conversation with them. One, it positions me as a person of value. Two, if I can show them the path to independence, now I got them thinking bigger than the narrative of their dependent real estate company. And when I get, and they're going to be a lot closer to our interdependent value proposition. So when I get an agent here and they say, oh my God, I get it. It's so simple. Leads, listings, and leverage. Of course, I want to be a business owner. No, I'm not afraid to generate my own leads. Fantastic. Can you imagine an interdependent real estate company where agents that do the business you want to be doing, that have the life you want to have a real incentive to share with you how they do it? Guys, what do you think this independent thinking agent is going to care more about? What it costs, what they get, what their splits are, or where they're going to do more business, net more money, and build a better quality of life? So guys, with dependent agents come from contribution, start with their why, show them how they can achieve it. If they're ready to be if they're not ready to be independent and they're a cultural fit for KW, get them in front of a leadership team. There could be a great dependent opportunity for them. But if you can draw them here, that's when you can really start sharing our interdependent value proposition with them. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Now, the analogy I've heard for independent agents has always been diagnose the patient, find the pain, KW's the medicine cabinet. Now, the pain for most independent agents is no one's ever taught them how to run a real estate business, how to attract talent, how to leverage systems, okay, how to create an exit strategy. Find the pain, KW's the medicine cabinet. I heard a great line from Mega Camp this past year. Find out what makes them smile and show them how to exponentially smile more. That's a really cool way to look at that. I'm going to give you guys my analogy for attracting independent agents. It's got a little bit more of an edge to it. Attracting independent agents to KW, well, it's kind of like dating. If you want to date somebody that's in a relationship, you don't try to break them up. No, you become their friend. You become someone they respect. And then you wait for their boyfriend or girlfriend to screw it up. And if you don't think their real estate company is going to screw it up, oh man, you don't know our competition. And while they've been screwing it up during this pandemic, you know what we've been doing? We've been leaning in. We're investing more money into training, technology, support, profit share. So guys, you got two choices with attracting independent agents to our company. And I think it's fair to say both of those choices start with you being an agent they respect. And I ain't just talking about production. I'm just talking about the way you do business. If they don't respect the way you do business, Forget about it, right? You got no chance to sponsor them, or get them to KW. But if you're an agent they respect, you got two choices. Come from contribution, right? Find their pain, offer a solution, find out what makes them happy, show them how to smile more, okay? And either A, wait for their real estate, bless you, wait for their real estate company to screw it up, or B, wait for their why to change. Whose whys have changed over the last 2 years? I bet somebody you talked to 2 years ago, I bet their why has changed quite a bit. And then you can be there to show them a better path. Or your second option is just, you can just be more compelled to want to help them than you are uncomfortable in having that conversation. And I hear the same thing from every agent that comes here from another company. I said the exact same thing. Man, I wish I had come here sooner. Yeah. Well, maybe we would have been here sooner had an agent we had a relationship with at this company was more compelled to want to help you than to wait for you to figure it out. And I heard a great line from our top agent, Ben Kinney, years ago. It always stuck with me. He said, when you offer the best service, you owe it to people to have them work with you. That's how I feel about KW. I am more compelled to want to help these agents than I am uncomfortable in having that conversation. I'm going to tell you this right now. It has never been easier in the history of Keller Williams to come from contribution and to share our interdependent value proposition with these independent agents. I mean, if I was you, I'd be passing out MREA books and shift books like they were freaking Tic Tacs. Yeah? I mean, you got family reunion coming up in a couple of weeks. You know, back in the day, you'd have to pay for a recruit to go to family reunion physically. Now you can just pay for them to attend digitally. I wouldn't hesitate for 1 second to pay for 5 people to attend that event digitally. If I got 5 agents in this market that I wanted to attend family reunion digital, what is it, 120 bucks a digital ticket? $600 investment. I guarantee you get 5 of those people to attend that event. 2 or 3 of them are going to want to find out more about Keller Williams. And if just one of them joins this company, I guarantee you, you'll get that money back 10 times, if not 100 times over. Okay. Now, guys, I believe up until this moment, there's really only 3 general reasons an agent would have ever left our company. There's only 3 general reasons an agent would have ever left KW up until now. First reason, they were never ready to be independent in the first place. They came to KW. They didn't want to generate their own leads. They didn't want to join a team, and they hated KW because they were a dependent agent. Well, guess what? Moving forward, that's about to change. We will be the preferred real estate company for dependent agents moving forward. I promise you that. Second reason an agent would have left our company. They never bought into our interdependent value proposition. They never come into the office. They never offer to teach classes. They don't help new agents. They don't buy into our culture. They don't care about evolving our tech. They think buying leads from Zillow is still cool. And they don't care about growing our company or getting purposeful about profit share. And they left KW because they were an independent agent. But also maybe in some ways, we inadvertently shamed them for not buying into our interdependent value proposition, which I was known to do in the past, okay? But guys, here's the deal. Maybe they said they weren't a fit, but we shamed them. They said, maybe I'm not a fit for KW. So here's the deal, guys. If we're going to be a more inclusive company moving forward, here's what our mindset's going to have to be. And life by design at Keller Williams ain't going to be one size fits all anymore. We need to meet these agents where they're at, offer them the best training, technology, systems, models, and culture for them to define what their life by design means to them. We need to stop trying to jam these agents into our interdependent box and meet them where they're at. Third reason an agent would have left our company up until now is simple, and that is if we were not delivering on our interdependent value proposition on a local level. And there's a quote I love: in the absence of value, price becomes a determining factor. I'm going to take a wild guess and say we ain't the cheapest place to be an agent in Houston, are we? Last time I checked, there are companies here that will offer you a higher percentage of your commission. I mean, hell, all EXP talks about is how much more money you can make in revenue share versus versus profit share. The bottom line is this: if we are actually delivering on this on a high level locally, which takes a village, takes ownership, leadership, and agents to buy into it, agents who value what we value will do more business, they'll build a better quality of life, and they should never leave our company. Now, somebody said something really interesting to me recently. They said, Aaron, what's the next evolution of our industry? What's the greatest threat to KW? And I promise you this, it ain't a revenue sharing virtual real estate company, okay? Check this out. The dependent and independent models, guys, these companies were all brand centric, okay? You got Caldwell Banker, Century 21, Remax, these companies were brand centric, okay? Well, guess what? KW took over the entire industry, being the first agent-centric real estate company. But here's the exciting thing about the moment we're in right now. We're already the next evolution of our industry, because KW is now a consumer-centric real estate company. And you know, Gary Keller said something recently I thought was really powerful. He said, I feel sorry for agents that are not going to be in business with us in the future. And people are like, he's pretty cocky. What they don't understand about Gary Keller is he actually believes that. He actually believes that if an agent's not going to be in business with KW in the future, they will not be able to compete with our agents for the consumer experience or the price offer. I'm going to make a prediction right now. In the not so near future, these independent agents and these independent brokerages, they ain't going to exist anymore, because they're not going to be able to compete for the consumer experience or the price offer. And they got a decision coming up real soon. They got two choices to make real soon. One, do I become a low-paid functionary of a Wall Street-backed tech disruptor and never earn more than $120K a year? Or do I join the obvious choice for the true real estate professional, which is KW? And guys, almost 6 years ago, Gary Keller got up on stage at Family Reunion, and he announced to the real estate industry, we ain't a real estate company anymore. We're a technology company now. And people started chuckling, right? I want you guys to understand why Gary Keller announced that 6 years ago. Because Gary Keller was talking to technology talent that don't want to work in a technology department. They want to work for a technology company. There's a reason we have these engineers in Austin, Texas that came from SpaceX and the Watson Project. I want to be real clear. I think it's fair to say we're led by the Steve Jobs of the real estate industry. And man, I would love for somebody to challenge me on that. Who, by the way, saw what was happening years ago. That's when he shifted us into a technology company and literally started dumping hundreds of millions of his own dollars into building a proprietary tech platform that he built interdependently with our agents. And Gary always talks about a book called Platform Revolution. Let me give you the ADHD version of it. Guys, we're now in the fourth industrial revolution, okay? It's about big data. It's about AI, and it will be 100% about the consumer experience moving forward. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Your customers, they ain't gonna be loyal to you in the future. They will, however, be loyal to the consumer experience and the price offer. So here's what I want you to consider. We were the first real estate company to build a proprietary tech platform. Yeah? Guess what? We were already the #1 real estate company in this industry. So we already have the most data. We have the most agents helping us evolve our tech. We're the only real estate company that both Google and Facebook says that they are partnering with and who they call a technology company. And guys, I got a great t-shirt. I wish I was wearing it today. But that t-shirt says, there is no ketchup. It's got a mustache with a bottle of ketchup on it, okay? And Gary Keller said this recently. He said, look, there's no ketchup. If our competition today wanted to build a proprietary tech platform, it would take them 2 to 3 years to build it. It would take them hundreds of millions of dollars to build, which they don't have. They don't have the data. They don't have the agents to help them evolve it. And I'll tell you what, guys, I ain't scared. I'll say it. We've already won. We've already won. We're so far ahead of our competition. We've already won. The only competition we got moving forward, guys, is going to be Redfin, Zillow, who now calls them a real estate company, had a really bad fourth quarter, or God forbid, Amazon decides to get back in this business. And when you got a company like EXP that is aggressively recruiting our fellow stakeholders and whose entire narrative is, hey, we're KW, except we got a higher upside. Man, that sounds awesome, although I'm not sure how a virtual revenue sharing real estate company that's not building its own technology and doesn't have Gary Keller is anything like KW. But you keep rolling with that narrative, because I'm going to give you guys Gary Keller's response to EXP and all these other copycat companies. Here's what Gary Keller says. We ain't even the real estate company you're trying to emulate anymore. We are now a consumer-centric, agent-driven technology company building the preferred platform for the interdependent, the independent, and the dependent agent to do business at. EXP, they're playing the agent game. We've already moved on to the consumer game. They're obsessed with recruiting our agents. We're obsessed with redefining the way people buy and sell houses and protecting and elevating the role of the true real estate professional in an industry that's trying to turn you into low-paid functionaries. Yes? You guys hear me on this. I really hope, okay? So guys, I'm just going to say this right now. If you don't believe in what I just said, if you don't get this, my guess is you ain't going to be very purposeful about growing this company moving forward. And if you ever want to become a true Jedi Knight of talking to people about Keller Williams, I've been listening to too much Jason Abrams with that Star Wars reference. But Jason Abrams, so here's the deal, guys. The deal is this. Go read Simon Sinek's last book called The Infinite Game, or jump onto YouTube and search for The Infinite Game. He does a couple great presentations on it. Watch those videos, read that book, and you tell me if you don't think he's talking about Keller Williams the whole time. There is only one true, now consumer-centric, agent-driven, interdependent real estate company led by the Steve Jobs of the real estate industry, who's driven by a big why of wanting to protect and elevate the role of the true real estate professional in an industry that's trying to eliminate them. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Because I'm seeing a lot of blank faces. And I'll just tell you right now, you don't get the conversation I'm having right now. You don't get what's happening in your industry. Yes, Andrew. Mm-hmm. The human element, local leadership, and also KWRI's overall mentality of not wanting to empower agents to recruit. Because guys, here's the deal. We've been saying for 37 years, just say, I love Keller Williams, can I have a team leader call you? And then we get so shocked when so few of us participate in profit share and actually take ownership of our experience at KW. Now, the good news is, Andrew, we're on the profit share task force. We've identified the problems. We are working towards a solution. But this is what gets me so excited. There's so much room for improvement within the four walls of this market center. Maybe if we just focused on that and the people we're in business with, we would grow exponentially. All right. So the biggest challenge is simply the human element. What I went through what I'm about to go through today is a model. You think every KW market center follows the model? You think every KW region is created equal? That's why they better be thankful that they're in this amazing market center with an amazing ownership group and leadership. Okay, you guys with me on this? All right, now let me quickly go through a script here with you that I found myself having with recruits, okay, conversations. One of the things I always found myself talking to recruits about, I would say, look, if you would just understand the whys of real estate companies, the whats would make a lot more sense to you. Think about that. If you understand the whys of real estate companies, the whats would make a lot more sense. Does that sound a little bit like the golden circle to you? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Okay, here's the deal. The big why of our industry up until this point has simply been the concept of agent loyalty. I hope all my agents in this room would agree. Up until now, you're the reason you do business, yes? If there was a better place for you to do business at, I would expect you to be there. And I expect your clients to follow you. But Nimesh, you would imagine you could build a real estate company in an office agents would never want or need to leave. I don't know. Might give you a slight advantage over your competition, okay? Take you through two flow charts. First flow chart is going to be what has created agent loyalty at Keller Williams. When I'm done with this flow chart, we'll take a bathroom break. When we come back, I'll show you how agent loyalty can explain why all the whats are better here. So let me walk you through this step by step. What has created agent loyalty at Keller Williams up until now? Well, guess what, guys? It started with the highest evolution of the real estate industry, which was the interdependent model. Now, we just went through that flow chart, that Stephen Covey flow chart, but for those of you that don't know the history of Keller Williams, you need to know it, okay? Here's the deal. Gary Keller was running the #1 real estate office in Austin, Texas, #1 real estate company in Austin, Texas in the late 70s. But the truth was he was running an old-fashioned traditional independent real estate company. Well, guess what happened in Austin, Texas in the late 70s? The market shifted. And then RE/MAX came into Austin, Texas with the independent model. And a lot of Gary's agents left his company and they went to RE/MAX. So Gary got his remaining agents together. He said, look, what do we have to do to survive and grow as a company? And these agents told Gary, we need better training and support. We want a higher commission split. We want to have a say in the direction of our company. We want to look at the books and we want to share in the revenue. So Gary Keller realized in that moment, what Stephen Covey was talking about was going to be the next evolution of our industry. He said, you know what? I'll be the first person to do it. Be the first person that builds an agent-centric interdependent real estate company where I put my agents first and I treat my agents as partners, or what we call you at Keller Williams, stakeholders. Now, very important sidebar conversation here, guys. I don't know if you know this or not, but when KW launched in '83, we were actually the very first revenue sharing residential real estate company. And I know you have revenue sharing companies here. Let me just refresh you on how they work. I attract you to my company. I make a percentage of every deal you close until you cap, regardless of the profitability of my company. Now, I'm not the most business savvy guy in the world, but I'm pretty sure if profitability is not the most important thing in your business, probably won't be the most sustainable model. But even as the very first revenue sharing residential real estate company, even as that, we were the highest evolution of our industry, guys. And over the next 6 years, Keller Williams exploded. There was only one problem. We were not profitable. So Gary went to a compensation expert who told him two things. First thing he told Gary, you are rewarding the wrong behavior. Second thing he told Gary is being a revenue sharing real estate company is negatively affecting your culture. And I want you guys to pay attention because I know EXP is up in this market, okay? Revenue share only creates a downline relationship. You are only vested in the success of the agents in your downline. Profit share creates a culture of sharing company-wide. And just know this, if you participate in profit share, you ain't just vested in the success of the agents in your profit share tree. No, you're also vested in the success of every agent in your profit share tree's market centers too. Because if their market centers are not profitable, you ain't making any profit share. So guys, at Keller Williams, our unique culture, which I really hope you believe is the number one reason to be in business with us, yeah? Guess what? Our culture, it actually starts with profit share. And this is one of the ways that we are inherently different than a revenue sharing real estate company, particularly a virtual one, is that our culture starts with profit share. Do you feel me on that? So don't tell me you're KW. Don't tell me you got the same culture as KW because you don't, okay? Our culture is inherently different. You feeling me on that? I'm going to tell you right now, the next part of this class is the most important part of this class, and I am going to take it up a notch whether you like it or not. I would love for you to come along with me, okay? But it doesn't really matter because I'm going to do it anyways. But here's the deal. You come out with the highest evolution of this industry, the interdependent model. For the first time ever, you have a real estate company that treats their agents like partners and stakeholders. Now an amazing thing happens. Now your agents feel as if they have a true ownership stake in your real estate company. And I want you really to pay attention to what I'm about to say, because I want you to listen to how I define what it means to be a Keller Williams stakeholder. I define being a Keller Williams stakeholder as one, having a real say in the direction of my local market center all the way up to the top of my company. Do we have a say in that? Through the ALC, the IALC, did we not help build this billion-dollar tech platform? Are we not the ones that are evolving it? Do we all agree at KW, we actually have a real say? Yeah? Does anybody know of another company that gives their agents a real say? Because I don't. Second definition of being a KW stakeholder, I get to look at the books. Guys, we're the only open book, transparent real estate company in this entire industry. And if you're going to be a profit sharing company, you're going to make your agents believe in it, you got to be an open book, transparent company. If you haven't spent time on the internet, this entire company is wide open to you. Every agent's production, every agent's profit share, every market center's profitability, wide open to you. We're the only open book real estate company in our industry. Third definition of being a KW stakeholder. I'm a part of a local market center and a global real estate company of 200,000 agents that are all vested in a true common goal and have a real incentive to work together and care about each other in an industry that's always been dog eat dog. And my fourth and final definition of being a KW stakeholder is that I have the option to share in the profits. 100% of KW associates, okay, are a stakeholder in their market center in this company. But unfortunately, less than 35% of us are actually being financially rewarded for being a stakeholder. And by the way, once again, that's a percentage of KW associates that even participate in profit share. But you better believe 100% of you are vested in the success of your market center and in this company, whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not. And let me show you why. Nimish, you think it's fair to say the more we grow this market center, the more profitable it becomes? You think it's fair to say probably the more money and resources you're going to reinvest back into your agents, the better the training is going to be? And guys, I ain't cheap. I'll just tell you that, okay? The better the training is going to be, the better the office space is going to be, the support, the technology. By the way, does that benefit all of you? whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not. Okay, you know what I'm thinking, Nimesh? The more we grow this market center, the more profitable it becomes. I don't know. I'm expecting the better the energy and the culture of sharing to be in this market center, because agents are going to be galvanized by something bigger than their own real estate businesses. You think that benefits you guys to be in a market center with great energy and great culture, whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not? Okay. I'm thinking the more we grow these market centers, call me crazy, Andrew, I'm thinking there's probably more Keller Williams for sale signs going up in sellers' yards. Yeah, around here? Oh yeah, heads up. Yeah, you're a part of a real estate company that spends no money marketing itself. And the only way we can build our brand reputation and recognition in Houston is from our agents for sale signs going up in sellers' yards. I bet it's a lot easier to be a KW agent in Houston today than it was 20 years ago when everybody was saying Keller who. You think that benefits all of you, whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not? Yeah? And I'm thinking the more we grow this market center in this company, the more profitable we become. I expect the more of our agents to donate to KW Cares, the greater the impact this market center and this company can make in your agents' lives and your community. Does that benefit all of you, whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not? Yes or no? And I want you guys just to imagine this, okay? If we just keep doing this right, which of course we will, in 5 years, there will be over 300,000 Keller Williams stakeholders worldwide. Think about that for a second. Think about the unfair advantage we're all going to have being a part of a global real estate company that has 300,000 stakeholders in it. Think about the sharing of ideas and the masterminding flowing through that network. Think about the global referral business flowing through that network. Think about what KW Cares can do with over 300,000 stakeholders. And think about the data, the insights, how fast we'll be able to evolve our technology, and the unfair advantage we will all be able to offer all of our customers. And think about how much of a better chance your real estate company is going to have to beat these Wall Street-backed tech disruptors that are trying to turn you all into low-paid door openers. So I want to make sure you're listening to me today. Whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not, you are vested in the success of your market center and in this company. Do we agree with that? Because if you got purposeful about profit share, well, then you'd just be taking a greater ownership stake in this company because you'd be financially rewarded too. But whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not, you are vested in the success of this market center and this company. We all agree? Because here's the kicker. Yeah, you're also vested in the failure of it too. Now, you might not think you got a financial risk like the ownership group of your market center does. I'm the guy that's here today to tell you, you got a financial risk. And let me tell you what your financial risk is. By not taking ownership of your market center, by not teaching classes, by not helping new agents and sharing your ideas, by not buying into culture, by not helping us evolve our tech, by not caring about growing our market, your market center, let me tell you what your financial risk is. It's simply the difference between being in a highly profitable, high culture market center versus being in one that is not. And I cannot quantify the financial impact that the Atlanta Peachtree Road Market Center has made on my life and my business. It's got nothing to do with the very little bit of profit share money I make out of it. So you know what, guys? I'm just going to take it up a notch for you. Whether you like it or not, you got an ownership stake in your market center and in this company. I don't know. Maybe you should take more ownership of it. Or not. It's your business. It's your family. But when you talk to the agents in this company that think and act like real stakeholders, that teach classes, that share their ideas, that buy into culture, they all tell you the same thing. What you put into that, you get back so many times over. And I'm going to tell you this right now. You own at least two businesses at this company. Your real estate business and Keller Williams. Maybe you should take ownership of both of those. Or maybe you should look at another company. Seriously. You guys feeling me on this? Yeah? Now, you guys think it's fair to say, if your agents are really thinking like true stakeholders, if they understand that they're vested in the success of their market center and their fellow stakeholders, you think it's fair to say they're more than likely going to buy into a culture of sharing and caring if they believe that they have an ownership stake in their market center and their fellow stakeholders? Yes or no? Because in this next section, I'm about to defluff Keller Williams for you because man, oh man, have we not fluffed up this company? I mean, we have fluffed it up so much, nobody even knows why anymore. You start to peel away the layers of that onion, there's a big fat why staring right in your face. And if you can't express this why, you cannot express our value proposition at a high level. Look, last time I checked, humans They're the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah? Not everybody at your local competition is evil. You got some good people over there that care about their fellow agents and buy into teamwork. I think it's also fair to say not everybody at KW buys into our culture, do they? But there is something different about our culture, yeah? I mean, why is it when I was in Joplin, Missouri a couple of years ago teaching this class, agents in my classroom were crying because an F5 tornado blew through Joplin, Missouri 10 years ago, and the way that agents from around this company packed up U-Haul trucks and donated money and drove them to Joplin, Missouri, brought those agents to tears. I'm just curious, and I'm scared to ask this question. Anybody in this room go to Mega Relief 6 years ago? That's the kind of answer I was expecting, okay? Here's the deal, and I'm going to share this story not because I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm going to share this story because it was the most powerful moment, cultural moment for me in KW. For those of you that don't know, here's the deal. We do 2 huge training events, right? Family Reunion Mega Camp. Mega Camp's always held in Austin, Texas. 6 years ago now, I think, Hurricane Harvey blew through Houston, yeah? And the Austin Convention Center became a shelter. And 1 month before Mega Camp, KWI said, guys, we're gonna pivot this year. We're not doing Mega Camp. We're turning Mega Camp into Mega Relief. 4,000 of us descended on Austin, Texas. I spent my own money to fly to Austin. I got a hotel room for 4 nights to be bused multiple days into this hot Houston sun to help our agents demuck their homes from that hurricane. And right about that time, there were terrible fires going on in Northern California, surprise, that were affecting our associates. And KWI said around Mega Camp, guys, we're going to commit to raising $20 million for our associates affected by these natural disasters. And what all of you need to wrap your brains around is that money didn't come from KWRI. That money came from us, the stakeholders of KW. I'm going to tell you this right now. I didn't see those Caldwell Banker agents here in Houston. I didn't see those RE/MAX agents here in Houston. And I definitely didn't see those EXP avatars here in Houston. And that is the difference between being a part of a real estate company that actually treats their agents like stakeholders versus being in one that is not. There is something different about our culture. And I promise you this, it ain't because we built this company with a bunch of really nice people with big hearts. It ain't because of Y4C2Ts. And it ain't because we're family. Look, I love you guys. I know it feels like a family. The reason why our culture is different is that we are the first agent-centric, interdependent real estate company that treats our agents like stakeholders, where they have a true vested interest in a common goal and have a real incentive to work together and care about each other in an industry that's always been dog eat dog. Guys, doing the right thing, family, culture, those are all what's, and they don't drive the behavior. Being a stakeholder is a why, and it does drive the behavior. Am I making sense? I'm going to tell you this right now. If you do not think that our culture is not the #1 reason to be in business with us, I don't know. My guess is it's probably because you ain't participating in it enough. The 2 years that I was the top sponsoring associate in this entire company, I won the Culture Award for my market center both years. So here's a little word of advice from me to you. Before you go out there and start talking the talk, do us all a favor and walk the walk first. How in the world are you going to have a high-level, authentic conversation with someone about why they need to be in business with us if you don't participate in the #1 reason to be in business with us? And the answer to that question is you won't. And you'll have profit your breath, and they will smell you coming. You hear what I'm saying? And we love Mo Anderson, do we not? I mean, Mo, you are the heart of KW, right? But there's a reason they call Mo Anderson the Velvet Hammer. Do not mistake Mo Anderson for some sweet lady with a big heart. I think it's fair to say Mo Anderson is one of the most powerful businesswomen to ever step foot on this planet. And here's what Mo Anderson says about culture. If you're not profitable, you're out of culture. I mean, that's coming from Mo Anderson. You better believe profit share and culture are forever linked in this company. So you guys agree that if our agents buy into our interdependent culture and what has always been an independent, dependent industry, I don't know, I'm guessing probably our agents are going to be more productive. Yes. I mean, tough times happen. We step up. I know we got some top agents in this or some top producers in this room. I'm pretty confident when I say Ben Kinney, Cody Gibson, Tim Heil, yeah, they do more business than you. And at KW, they have a real incentive to share with you how they do it, right? So we all agree that if we buy into our culture, probably our agents are going to be more productive. And guess what? When our agents are more productive, guess what happens? Our offices or our market centers and company are more profitable. Exactly. Now, we've already established on a local level, guys, hopefully the more profitable your market center is, the more money you're reinvesting back into your agents, the better the culture is, the energy, the more signs go up. That makes your agents more productive. It makes your market center more profitable. That's called interdependence. Yeah. Oh, by the way, not every KW market center reinvests their profits back into their agents, and they wonder why their agents don't stick around. Interdependence takes two, just so we all know, okay? And I don't know if you guys know this or not. Last year, we gave back $191 million in profit share, biggest profit share year in the history of Keller Williams by about 10%. In a pandemic, you guys think it's an advantage to be a part of a real estate company that's got zero debt that gave back $191 million in profit share back to our agents in the middle of a pandemic? You think that's an advantage? Yeah, me too. Well, these two things go back and forth, and I think it's fair to say if we actually follow this flow chart, and I'm 3 minutes away from a bathroom break, just so we all know, okay, that my guess is that our agents will probably have a better quality of life at KW. And does anybody know of another real estate company that takes a more intentional approach to teaching agents how to build wealth and quality of life like we do? Does anybody know of another company that takes a more intentional approach? Because last time I checked, Nimish, Gary Keller wrote the books on this. Yeah? MREI, whole flip shift, the one thing. I don't hear these other companies talking about careers worth having, business worth owning, lives worth living, legacies worth living. Do we all agree? Hands down, we are the leaders in this industry about being intentional about teaching agents how to build wealth and quality of life. Do we agree? Because I say this every time I teach this class, and I'm going to say it again. I am not loyal to Keller Williams. I'm not. I'm loyal to quality of life. And if I thought there was a better real estate company out there for me to build wealth and quality of life for me and my family, oh man, I'm out of here. And I hope everybody in this room would do exactly the same thing. Are you really loyal to Keller Williams, or are you loyal to quality of life? Because when I hear an agent say, oh my God, I just love my broker, I would never think about leaving my real estate company. What I want to do, and don't do this, I want to shake them. And I want to say, who do you love more? Your broker or your family? Because let me tell you something, if your broker loved you so much, they tell you to take a closer look at KW where you get better training support, do more business, and net more money. And by the way, is your broker's love for you contingent on you being in business with them? My guess is it is. And I got a hashtag that's gone viral because I've been saying it for 11 years. Here's my hashtag. Hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome. You know what Stockholm syndrome is? Yeah, that's when a captive falls in love with their captor. You have agents in your market that will literally fight you tooth and nail to defend a broker who is proactively keeping them down. You think they're building proprietary tech, Nimesh, to help them lower their tech costs and help them out Zillow? Are they teaching them how to build a real estate business that they can leverage themselves out of? No, they're teaching them how to service their leads, how to market their company's logo, and God forbid they decide they want to leave, they're going to hold their listings hostage. Hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome. That ain't going to be the last time you hear that today. But is it fair to say that if we follow this flow chart, agents who value what we value will do more business, they'll net more money, and they should never leave? And by the way, this is once again just a model. This is a theory, okay? Now, in the second part of this class, I'm going to teach you how agent loyalty can explain why all the whats are better here. For the people that want that information, come back after a 5 to 10 minute bathroom break. For the ones that don't, that's just more profit share for the rest of us. All right, 5 to 10 minute bathroom break, come back, all right? All right, guys, I'm going to get going. You ready to go? Yeah? Yeah. All right, let's do this, okay? Let's do it. All right, did we do a good enough job in the first part of this class explaining KW's why in theory? Yes? Yes. If we buy into our interdependent value proposition and if our agents buy into our culture, we'll probably all do more business. We'll all probably net more money. And people that value that probably will not leave our company. Now, here's where it's going to get fun, okay? We're going to take that why of agent loyalty, okay? And I'm going to show you how agent loyalty can explain why all the whats are better here. And here we go. Agent loyalty right there. And I am going to give you guys 6 whats that can be explained Why they're better here? Because of agent loyalty, and why those same what's are not at our competition. And everybody remembers the golden circle, right? Because this will layer right over the golden circle. Agent loyalty is your why, where the arrow end is your what's. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I'm coming out of the gates hot. Okay, the first effect of agent loyalty, as in the KW effect, that's the name of this class, by the way, is going to be something I call invest in versus compete with. Invest in versus compete with. Now, guys, you remember how we were talking early on about how this industry used to always work, right? These brand-centric, traditional dependent real estate companies, they controlled the business, they controlled access into homes, and the real estate companies do the best job marketing their brands to home buyers and sellers. They got all the business, right? Well, here's the problem. That ain't the way the real estate industry works anymore, is it? Agents are the reason agents do business, not brand marketing campaigns. Do we agree? Hello? Do we agree? The problem for our traditional competition, of course, is they're telling the same darn story. I mean, Coldwell Banker's been around for 115 years. They've been telling the same darn story. And here's where I'm going with this. Our traditional competition always has, and they always will, value their brands as their greatest asset, not their agents. And they're going to keep spending all of their money marketing their brands to home buyers and sellers and trying to convince everybody, including their own agents, that the reason you want to hire an agent is because of the company they work for. We know that's a bunch of crap now, right? Yes? Yes. Okay. Now here's where I'm going with this. If your real estate company values its brand as its greatest asset, and it spends all of its money marketing its brand to home buyers and sellers, you know where I'm going with this. Guys, I hope you understand. They are doing that to compete with their agents for business. Don't get it twisted. They're pitching their brand marketing campaigns to their agents like, hey, we're promoting the real estate company you're in business with. But the real truth is you're trying to get in between their agents and home buyers and sellers so they can capture those leads off their brand marketing campaign and do what with them? Oh, divvy's one way to say it. I would say sell it back to their agents for a lower split or a referral fee. And I'll tell you this right now, you don't get that, you don't get the industry you're in. That's been the big scam of this industry for over 100 years. These traditional companies spend all their money trying to convince everybody you want to hire an agent because of the company they work for. And when somebody is driving down the street here in Houston and they see a Coldwell Banker sign that says ColdwellBanker.com, or they turn on the Super Bowl and there's a Coldwell Banker commercial that says ColdwellBanker.com, I promise you this, they ain't picking up the phone and calling a Coldwell Banker agent. They're going to ColdwellBanker.com, or they're calling the local office, and either A, that competing broker's taking that lead, or B, they're selling it back to their agents for a lower split or referral fee. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yes? Do you know why our traditional competition continues to spend all of their money competing with their agents for business? Do you know why they keep doing it? It's pretty simple to understand. That's a great point. You're almost on it. Wait, but oh, you said that. I'm sorry. One of you said that. That's another way of saying they know there's a higher evolution of a real estate company out there for their agents to do business at. And just imagine you're running Coldwell Banker and you can't change who you are because you're now a publicly traded company. You know there's a higher evolution of a real estate company out there for your agents to do business at, right? I don't know. My guess is you're probably going to keep spending all your money marketing your company's logo and trying to convince everybody it's the company's logo that's the reason you do business, not the agents, right? But guess what happens, guys? When you build a real estate company, agents will never want or need to leave. Well, now you don't have to spend any money marketing your company or competing with your agents for business. Actually, what you prefer to do is invest all of your money into your agents through training, education, technology support, and profit share, because ultimately you know this is the best place for them to do business at. Now, before I go deeper, does that make a little sense? That connection between agent loyalty and the lack of agent loyalty, and whether or not a real estate company would be willing to invest in their agents versus compete with them. Does that make a little sense? Now, is it okay if I go a little bit deeper on this and use logic? Yeah? I want to throw a couple logical thoughts out here. I want you guys to add these thoughts together. You tell me if I'm making any sense today. You know, it's a very simple business concept. And that business concept says it costs any business in any industry roughly 7 times more money to acquire a new customer versus retaining an existing one. Forget about the ratio. Do we not all agree, regardless of what industry a business is in, it's probably going to cost them more money to acquire a new customer versus retaining an existing one? Do we agree with that? All right, now here comes the big one. I want you to pay attention, okay? I believe one of the biggest differences between Keller Williams and our competition is this. Guys, our competition, they think their customers are their franchise holders who they spend all their money marketing their brands for and creating the dependent model. We think our customers / partners are you, our agent stakeholders. Let me say that again. I believe the biggest difference between Keller Williams and our competition is that our competition thinks their customers are their franchise holders who they spend all their money marketing their brands for and creating a dependent model. We think our customers / partners are you, our agent stakeholders. Yes? And guess what, guys? When you build a real estate company where you don't have to worry about losing your customers, i.e. your agents, because there's not a better place for them to do business at, well, then you don't need to spend any money trying to acquire new customers, do you? But when you see our competition spending all of their money marketing their company's logos, they're marketing their company's logos on behalf of their franchise holders because they're having a real hard time keeping their real customers, which are their agents. KW doesn't need to spend millions of dollars a year telling home buyers and sellers how great all of you are. All we have to do is attract the agents that value what we value and simply keep you and your customers. Tell me I'm making a little sense today, yes? Because would you guys all agree that the healthiest and most profitable real estate agent businesses are word of mouth and referral based, not marketing dollar based? You guys agree with that? So hello. Don't you want your real estate company to be built the same way too? Nimesh, isn't that what we are? A word of mouth referral based company, not a marketing dollar based company? Gee whiz, maybe that's why we have zero debt and we gave back $191 million in profit share in the middle of a pandemic while our competition, who is marketing dollar based, is imploding financially. Yeah? I'll tell you this right now. You have that conversation with an agent, they don't get that. Oh man, move on and talk to somebody else, okay? Imagine you've got the #1 real estate business in Houston. It's 100% word of mouth and referral based. It'd be a pretty profitable real estate business, yeah? I'm thinking I want my real estate company to be built the same way too, yes? So when you build a real estate company, agents will never want or need to leave. Now you're willing to invest in your agents versus spending all your money competing with them. You with me on that? Now, call me crazy, but I'm thinking, if my real estate company values its brand as its greatest asset and it spends all of its money marketing its brand, call me crazy. I'm thinking probably they're turning around and training their agents to market the exact same brand too, yeah? You think our traditional competition is training their agents how to brand and market their own businesses first? Or are they training them how to market their company's logo? Which one? All right, so the next great effect of agent loyalty is now you can become an agent branded company versus a company branded company. And I hope everybody in this room would agree. Keller Williams is hands down the leaders in this industry on teaching agents how to brand and market their own businesses first. Do we agree with that? If there's any doubt, heads up. Gary Keller introduced this concept to our industry. And he's got a brilliant quote about this. Check this out. Here's what Gary says. Gary says at Keller Williams, Terrence, this is for you again, buddy. At Keller Williams, the agent is the brand of recognition. Keller Williams is the brand of reputation. Think about that for a second. At Keller Williams, the agent is the brand of recognition. Keller Williams is the brand of reputation. Another way of saying that, we're the only real estate company that's willing to stand behind our agents versus in front of them. Guys, all of our competition is trying to convince home buyers and sellers and their agents the exact opposite. We're the only company from day one that has systematically trained our agents to brand and market their own businesses first. Our marketing as a company are your signs going in sellers' yards, yes? Now, who in this room is marketing their own brand or branding their own business? All right, what's the name? It was Luke? Oh, Logan, I'm sorry. What's the name of your business? Do you have a logo? Okay, right here, sir. You have a logo as well? By the way, if there's anybody in this room that is not Terrence, this is for you because I already know you. I already know what's going on. You're not doing what we're telling you to do yet. But let me give you some free marketing advice. If you're not branding your own business, here's some marketing advice for you. Start with your why. Terrence, make sure that your personal why is reflected in your logo and in your brand and speaks to the kind of people you want to do business with, okay? But here's the deal, guys. Here's what I want you to think about. Logan, when we train you guys to brand and market your business first, right? And if you're doing this right, you're branding your business powered by Keller Williams, correct? Here's what I want you to think about. Logan, by teaching you how to brand your own business first, isn't Keller Williams making it easier for you to leave Keller Williams and take your business with you? Gee, I wonder why we're the only real estate company in this industry that is systematically making it easier for our agents to leave our company and take their business with them. I can't imagine why, huh? It might have something to do with the fact that we know this is the best real estate company for you to do business at. Because if we thought there was a better place, we'd be spending all of our money competing with you for business, and we'd be training you to market KW. And I want you guys to be very clear, okay? Here's the deal. When we teach you to brand your business and you want to leave KW, you just have to change the name of the real estate company at the bottom of your marketing, okay? But if we were teaching you to market KW, it's not a secret why agents who've been trained to market their company's logo their entire career as the primary brand for their real estate business are scared to leave their company. They're so tethered to that company's brand that they've been trained to market their entire career. The idea of leaving that company, going to another real estate company, having to reinvent their entire brand and lose all of their marketing momentum scares them. Oh yeah, that's exactly how their real estate company wants it. Scared to leave. Hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome, yes? I mean, you guys understand that if you're marketing the RE/MAX balloon for 20 years, right, I like that. Here's the deal. If you're marketing RE/MAX balloon as the primary brand for your real estate business and A, you want to retire, that's the last day you ever make a cent from your real estate business because you've been marketing a freaking balloon for 20 years. B, if you want to leave RE/MAX and come to KW, you're going to have to reinvent your entire brand. You're going to lose all of your marketing momentum, and that's probably going to scare you. And that's exactly how RE/MAX wants it. They want their agents thinking people hire them because of a freaking balloon, because they know there's a higher evolution of a real estate company out there for their agents to do business at. But when you build a real estate company, agents will never want or need to leave. Now you're willing to teach them how to brand their own businesses first, which makes it easier for them to leave. Yes? Now, let's go one step further. I'm sure there's some nice people at your local competition, but we all understand there's no incentive. There's no why in their models for agents to work together and care about each other. They're just nice people over there, yeah? Here's what I want you to think about. Not only is there no incentive for agents to work together and care about each other at our competition, hello, they're all being trained to market the exact same brand. And if you don't think the person sitting next to you over there, who's being trained to market the exact same thing as you, is not your greatest competition, you are clueless. They're marketing the exact same brand as you. You actually think a seller in Houston is interviewing multiple RE/MAX agents that are marketing the RE/MAX balloon? Probably not. But will they interview your team, Logan, or an individual agent at KW that's branding and marketing their own business? Absolutely. Look, we're all independent contractors. What'd you say? Oh, you're freezing? Because I'm sweating. Hey, you want to wear my jacket? All right. Well, I don't know. I can't help you with that, although somebody here probably can turn the thermostat down. Anyways, all right, but let's take that conversation down a second for me, all right? So look, you guys get what I'm saying? That at our competition, there's no incentive to work together. They're all being trained to brand and market their own business. That's my water. Thank you. Appreciate it. No. I need my water. Thank you. Are you now more concerned about putting trash in the trash can than building wealth for you and your family? Okay, so be it. All right. Anyways, here we go. Seriously, like I don't care. But here's the point. You guys get what I'm saying? So they're not only competing with each other, they're also competing with their company that's spending millions of dollars a year marketing the exact same brand as their agents. You with me on that? Okay. All right, guys. I mean, can we finish strong, please? All right. Third arrow or third effective agent loyalty is going to be lead generation. All right. Hand them the fish or teach them how to fish. Anybody know of another real estate company that takes a more intentional approach to teaching agents how to generate leads like we do? See the MREA book, see a culture of sharing, see our billion-dollar tech platform. Does everybody agree that KW is the most intentional real estate company for teaching agents how to generate their own leads? I mean, it's not even close. This is what we do, right? Gee, I wonder why we're the leaders in this industry on teaching agents how to generate their own leads. I can't imagine why. You know, it could have something to do with the fact that we know this is the best place for you to run your businesses at, because if we thought there was a better place, we'd be spending all of our money competing with you for business, and we'd have corporate relocation relationships. Guys, does my listings, my leads ring a bell for anybody in this room today? You think that's the way it works at other real estate companies? No chance. Okay, here comes the magic word of the day. Magic word of the day is control. Remember how I said these traditional brand-centric real estate companies used to control the business, right? They used to control access into homes. You guys remember that? Well, guess what? The second they lost control of that, they've been trying to control their agents ever since. And Gary Keller's just the first person to come along and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give up control of my company. I'm going to give up almost half my profits. I'm going to invest in my agents versus compete with them. I'm going to teach them how to brand their own businesses versus training them to market my company. And I'm going to relinquish the control of the leads to my agents versus trying to control the business and compete with them. Look what Gary Keller's gotten back in return. It is abundance versus scarcity, plain and simple. And just know this, it pays to be the first. It pays to be the first abundantly thinking, agent-centric, interdependent real estate company. Yeah, good luck replicating 37 years of culture, 37 years of systems, models, and technology. We ain't even the real estate company you're trying to emulate anymore. You feeling me? Yeah? Fourth arrow is the conversation of the moment. And the conversation of the moment is tech-enabled agents versus agent-enabled tech. Which one of these is Keller Williams? Oh man, you guys are just lame today. I'm sorry. This is a lame, this is a lame room. I hope we finish strong because I just get angrier and angrier as this class goes on. All right, here's the deal. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to keep you guys engaged, all right? But like, come on. This is Monday. It's Monday today? No, what's today? Monday?
It's Monday.
Yeah, I mean.
It's raining. It never rains here.
Oh God.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You want to go mow your grass right now? I mean, what other plan? Were you going to go run a marathon today? All right, here's the point. All right, guys. Here's the deal. Gary Keller's got a brilliant quote about this. Here's what he says. He says, moving forward in real estate, it's going to be a battle over who's going to be the rock star. Is it going to be the agents or is it going to be technology? He said, the good news is you get to decide. Do you want to be the fiduciary agent who's enabled by the functionary tech? Or do you want to be the functionary agent that's enabled by the fiduciary tech? Translated, do you want to be a real estate business owner or do you want to be a low-paid functionary of a Wall Street-backed tech disruptor? And guys, your natural instincts when talking about our technology are going to be to talk about our technology what's. Oh my God, we're the first of the platform. We have the most data. We've got AI. We've got command. We call that tech breath. What you guys need to learn how to do is to talk about our technology from the why and from the who. Oh, you want to know why Keller Williams has the best technology? That's simple. You see, we're led by the Steve Jobs of the real estate industry, who's driven by a big why of wanting to protect and elevate the role of the true real estate professional in an industry that's trying to turn them into low-paid functionaries. So he turned us into a technology company 6 years ago, dumped about $1 billion of his own money into building a proprietary tech platform that he built interdependently with our agents, designed to lower their tech costs, increase their conversions, and help them out Zillow. You see the difference between coming from the what versus coming from the why? Yeah? So let me take you through a full exercise of coming from the what versus the why. Here's coming from the what. Oh my God, I love Keller Williams. We have the best training, technology, and culture, and we're just one big happy family over here. And that's true, but people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Here's how I say the same thing, except I come from the why. Oh, you want to know why Keller Williams has the best training, technology, and culture? That's simple. You see, at KW, we value our agents as our greatest asset, not our company's brand. So instead of spending all of our money marketing our company's brand to home buyers and sellers, which, by the way, is competing with all of our agents for business. Yeah, we don't want to spend any money competing with our agents for business. Actually, what we prefer to do is invest all of our money into our agents through training, education, technology support, and profit share. And what takes our training to the highest level is that everything we do as a real estate company is built around teaching agents how to build their own real estate businesses around their own brand, where they are learning how to generate their own leads and build leverage in their businesses and lives. And of course, as a result of this, we're the only real estate company willing to make $1 billion investment in a proprietary tech platform that we built in collaboration with our agents, designed to lower their tech costs and help them out Zillow. You see the difference between coming from the what versus coming from the why? And by the way, have I said anything about money yet? Oh yeah, the money's better here too. And I just want you guys to know something. I can attract people to KW all day long. Never even talk about the money. All I got to do is make them understand why and how we're different. I'll let leadership talk about the money, which I know is better here. You feeling me on that? Now, the last two arrows are going to fall under operating model. What's the cap here in Houston, roughly? 16 plus 3. Now, you guys know it varies from market to market, right? Tied to economic conditions, average sales price. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to say the average cap in this company is right around 20,000 per agent. So take that, just use that number as an example. So, guys, why or how can Keller Williams only take out on average a maximum of 20K per agent, yet have zero debt and give back $191 million in a pandemic? How can we do that when we're capping our agents' commissions at a max of 20K on average? How can we do it? Okay, so you're right on. And what someone said something over here too? Yeah, exactly. So you're both right on. So I love both of your answers. So the first thing you said was agent count, basically, which is another way of saying agent loyalty, right? You build a real estate company, agents will never want or need to leave. You just keep adding more and more agents. So one side of this is obviously agent count, agent loyalty. The other side is we have low operating expenses. Do we spend any money marketing our company? No. And check this out, guys, okay? I got an email several years ago from a guy named Joe Williams, okay? That would be Joe Williams of Keller Williams. And I ain't dropping names. I'm just telling you what happened. He sent me an email. Said, Aaron, I've been watching you. And 7 years ago, when I got that kind of email, I was in serious trouble, okay? But Joe Williams, I've been watching you, and I want to help you do what you do better. And here's what Joe Williams said back then I thought was brilliant. He said, the real secret to KW's success up until that moment was the market center model. And I want you guys to pay attention, okay? Our traditional competition is built around the way the industry used to work when they controlled the business. We're built around the way the industry works today. Agents drive the business. They're brand-centric. We're agent-centric. They spend millions of dollars a year marketing their brand. We spend no money marketing our brand. They have thousands and thousands of real estate offices. RE/MAX has 6,500 offices worldwide. Anybody heard of a corporation called Realgy? Oh, if you haven't, you're going to love this. They own Caldwell Banker, Century 21, Better Homes and Garden, ERA, same cereal, different boxes. They got multiple brand offices in every town across North America. But think about it. When you controlled the business, it made sense to have an office on every block. It made sense to spend all that money marketing your brand. There's only one problem. That ain't the way the industry works anymore. And it costs a lot of money to operate thousands of real estate offices and support a $1 million national brand advertising campaign. Yeah, that might be why you're having all that financial problems. All right, here's the deal. We only have 835 market centers in North America. And I'm going to tell you right now, in 5 to 7 years, it's going to be less than 600. We're about to go through a major consolidation, and you guys should be excited about that. Here's what I want you to, first of all, we have to be more digitally based and physically enhanced, okay? The game is changing, but here's the deal, guys. Bigger market centers, more resources, more profit, okay? Market centers will be digital distribution centers for our training, okay? But we have to, change our model, right? We have to get ahead of this, okay? So you guys get what I'm saying. There's two reasons why we can be so profitable and have zero debt when we're capping our agents' commissions at about 20K. We have low operating expenses. That's one. And we're the best place for agents to run their businesses at. And when you got low operating expenses, the best place to run business for agents, you just keep getting more and more profitable. Guys, 15 years ago, the average agent count for a KW market center was 115. Today, it's well over 230. Coincidentally, profit shares exploded. All right? You with me on this? Well, guess what? There's a new model in town. The virtual model, and it's going to do to real estate what Amazon has done to retail. I know we've heard this, so let's break it down. Now, we all would agree that Amazon has shaken up retail, but I hope we all agree that 80% of all retail is still done face-to-face outside of a pandemic. And there's a reason Amazon bought Whole Foods and was opening up bookstores. I have no doubt that these virtual real estate companies with virtually no operating expenses, man, they are going to take a chunk out of these brand-centric, brick and mortar, high marketing dollar real estate companies. We all agree buyers and sellers ain't walking into offices anymore to find their agents, and they definitely ain't calling them off of Super Bowl commercials, okay? Here's what protects Keller Williams from the virtual movement. 3 things protect us. 1, we got low operating expenses. Yeah? Okay. 2, do we run market centers to attract home buyers and sellers? I'm sorry, I don't see home buyers and sellers walking all the way back here into this office, okay? So no, we run market centers for our customers, which are you, to deliver our interdependent value proposition. That's 2. 3, you guys heard me talking about purpose and community in the digital age, right? And how important that's going to be. You know, there's a new MAPS course about to launch. It's called How to Build a $1 Million Market Center. You know, the 2 foundational principles of a $1 million market center are going to be purpose and community. And Nimish, if you guys can continue to build a market center that delivers on purpose and community, that is a physical destination that compels your agents to come, and especially as this pandemic winds down and people are going to be craving this more. People want to come into this office. There's always a top agent willing to teach or share ideas. There's a sense of purpose and community here. Because if you guys can continue to build that, please tell me how an agent that values purpose and community would ever leave our company and go to a virtual revenue sharing real estate company. Yeah? You guys get what I'm saying? Okay, now let's bring this back for a second. Who's our big dependents here locally? Caldwell Banker. Okay, so when I was at Caldwell Banker, you know, typically the highest commission split you can work your way up to, there's about an 80-20 split. Till you tell them you want to leave. That's when they pull the 90-10 split out of their back pocket. It's like trying to cancel your cable bill. You only get the deal when you want to cancel, okay? But what's that? They don't have a cap. That's the point. You get what I'm saying? Well, right. So maybe you should pay attention. Well, maybe you should pay attention to this because you don't know what you're talking about. We've been kind of having some sidebar jokes here, but the truth is you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So you might want to listen more, okay? But here's the deal. So when I was at Caldwell Banker, the top agents in my office were on a 90-10 split. So if you're a top agent at Caldwell Banker on a 90-10 split, you pay them out at least 6 figures a year, and that doesn't even account for your royalty fee, which is not capped, okay? So if you're a top agent at Caldwell Banker on a 90-10 split, you're a $1 million commission agent, you're going to pay them out at least 6 figures a year, right? Here's my question for you. Who do you think Caldwell Banker gives preferential treatment to? The top agents that pay them out 6 figures a year, or that brand new struggling or emerging agent that might pay them 20, 30K? Who do you think gets the best leads over there? Top agents do, Nimish, right? As they should. And I'll tell you right now, if I was running the Caldwell Banker office and I knew my top agents could go across the street to KW, do more business and net more money, oh man, I'd butter up my top producers too. And Nimish will tell you this, one of the biggest challenges we face right now is trying to offset these sweetheart deals that these traditional companies are offering their top agents, or these cash buyouts that companies like Compass and Caldwell Banker are doing. But you know what the best thing about a cash buyout or a sweetheart deal is? Yeah, those are just 2 forms of broker Stockholm syndrome. Oh, here's some money. Just commit to us for 3 years. Oh, here's a 90-10 split. Just stay with us, you know, for the next 3 years, knowing if you went to KW, you would do more business, you'd net more money. Who are my newer agents in this room, been in the business for less than 6 months? What's your name back there? What's that? Farah. Okay, imagine somebody said this to you, Farah. If you join KW, if you join this office, the second you walk through the front door, you are valued exactly the same in the eyes of this market center as the #1 individual agent. You're both only worth 16,000 max. So guess what, Farah, at KW, everyone's equal or everyone is valued the same. I don't know about you guys. That's a big deal in my book. Yeah, Farah? Isn't that pretty exciting to know that you're valued the same? Now, is Farah valued the same as Ben Kinney? No, I'm talking scripts today. But a capper is a capper is a capper at KW, yes? All right, now, I taught this class in Florida. There's a woman named Jackie Ellis, one of our top agents. She got up at this point. She said, Aaron, at my former company, I was the #1 agent, and I did get preferential treatment. And everybody in my office resented me. And it was a relief to come to a real estate company where I was treated the same. I thought that was a really interesting way to look at that. Oh, by the way, when I was at Caldwell Banker, there were neighborhoods I could not market in, including the neighborhood I grew up in. I resented that agent that owned that neighborhood I grew up in, that I couldn't market in. All right, guys, who wants my 20-second elevator script? I've never said it in an elevator. And I will say this multiple times from the top, but here we go. Imagine a real estate company. Imagine a real estate company, and all I need is John Lennon on the piano here to take it home. Hey, imagine a real estate company where there is a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other. Imagine a real estate company where there's a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other, where all the agents are being trained, to brand their own businesses first. So imagine a real estate company where there's a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other, where all the agents are being trained to brand their own businesses first, versus all being trained to directly compete with each other and their company for the same brand. I'll say that again. Imagine a real estate company where there's a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other, where all the agents are being trained to brand their own businesses first, versus all being trained to directly compete with each other and their company for the same brand, and where every agent is valued the same. Let's do it one more time from the top with a little bit of hot sauce. Here we go. Hey, can you just imagine for a moment a real estate company where there's a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other? Oh, by the way, in this industry we've always been in, that's been dog eat dog. You know, where all the agents are being trained to brand and market their own businesses first, versus all being trained to directly compete with each other and their company for the same brand, and where every agent is valued the same. Can you imagine a company like that? Oh man, I almost forgot. The money's better here too. And guys, here's the deal. Here's the real truth. By the time I've gotten to this point in Nimesh, they want to find out more about KW. And when I serve that recruit up on a silver platter to you, and you can show them how they can earn more than 100% of their commission and build a retirement plan, that's what you call a Kaufman slam dunk, hashtag Jewish Jordan. All right. Oh, you're still here? Oh, okay. But if I had led with the money, oh my God, this is what it would sound like. Oh my God, you got to come to KW. You can make more than 100% of your commission. You can build a retirement plan. That sounds like Aaron's trying to sell me something. And it also sounds like every conversation I've ever had with an EXP agent. In the absence of value, price will be their only conversation. And I ain't having the price conversation. I'm having the purpose and community conversation and the why and how conversation. You with me? Last arrow is going to be quality control. And guys, I'm going to quote my former OP, Sean Rawls, who said it best. We work in an industry where idiots and experts get paid exactly the same amount. They don't earn the same amount, but they get paid the same amount. Yeah? You guys agree the standards to be a real estate agent in Texas are way too low? I mean, look around the room. You deserve that. All right, anyways, here's the point. Guys, it should mean something to you. It really should. That you're not just at a real estate company. No, you're at the #1 real estate company in every category that has zero debt, that's more profitable than it's ever been in the pandemic, and is the best place for agents to run their businesses at. We got something you might be familiar with. It's called leverage. You familiar with that concept of leverage? Yeah. Because let me tell you something, when you got leverage in an industry with such low standards to get into, you know what that means? Yeah, you don't have to hire everybody that walks in the door with a real estate license, like our traditional competition does. And if you think for 1 second our traditional competition, who's losing 5 to 10% of their agents a year, who doesn't invest in their agents and trains them to market their company's logo, if you think they're turning people away, you are crazy. Here's the other side of the quality control coin. Just because you're a top agent in another company here doesn't mean you operate with a high level of integrity, does it? So if you're a top agent in another company and you want to come to this market center, I have a feeling, Nimesh, that you guys are not going to attract that agent to this market center, jeopardize your reputation and culture for $16,000. We don't care how much business you do. You think our traditional competition is going to turn away agents that might pay them 6 figures a year? No chance. Here's where I'm going with this, guys. Who cares? And I mean seriously. Who cares how much money your company spends telling everybody how great your agents are if you don't have any real standards on who you allow to market your brand? What is in the value of a real estate company's brand reputation? How much money you spend telling everybody how great you are, or the quality of agents that have the privilege of utilizing your brand? Now that we're the #1 company in every category, I'm going to say our brand recognition and reputation is better than our competition's. And we don't need to spend millions of dollars a year trying to make it mean something. All we have to do is attract the agents that value what we value, keep you and your customers. So when you build a real estate company, agents will never want or need to leave. Now you're willing to invest in them versus compete with them. Now you're willing to teach them how to brand their own businesses versus train them to market your company. Now you're willing to relinquish the control of the leads to your agents versus trying to control the business and compete with them. Now you're willing to make $1 billion investment in a proprietary tech platform that you build in collaboration with your agents designed to lower their tech costs, help them out Zillow. And as a result of being the best place for agents to run their businesses at and having low operating expenses, you can cap your commissions, resulting in every agent being valued the same and having quality control in an industry with low standards. And before I forget, every real estate company has agent loyalty. The only question is that loyalty rooted in fear or abundance? Hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome. Yes? Because Nimesh, you can create loyalty through fear by not teaching your agents how to generate their own business, by trying to make them think that it's the company's logo that's driving their business, by holding their listings hostage. Yeah, that's one way to do it. You know, another way, give them everything they want and need. What kind of company you guys want to be in business with? Yeah? You're feeling me. I see it. I see it. Now, I'm going to bust out some Robert Kiyosaki, and then I'm going to teach you profit share, and then we're going to have some questions and ahas, hopefully. Now, guys, Robert Kiyosaki says, there are 4 ways you can earn money in this world. You can earn money 4 different ways, right? And here they are. You can earn money as an employee, self-employed, business owner, or investor. 4 ways you can earn money. Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. Okay, guys, everybody on the left side of this graph is 95% of the world. Everybody on the right side of this graph is 5% of the world. This 95% only earns 5% of the wealth. This 5% earns 95% of the wealth. Now, I want you to think about these quadrants from a leverage standpoint. Here's your employee. They have a job. They are the leverage. Self-employed person has created a job. They still don't have any leverage. Business owner is leveraging systems and people. Investor is leveraging money. You with me on this? Now I want you to think about it this way. Here's your employee / dependent agent / dependent company. Here's your self-employed person / independent agent / independent company. Right side of this graph is Keller Williams' interdependent value proposition. Now, if you want to come to KW and you just want to hang out in this E quadrant, there is nothing wrong with that. And there are people in this E quadrant at KW that are living huge lives. And by the way, you can always participate in our profit sharing quadrant as well, along with joint ventures and other great stuff that we offer. But if someday you want to grow into being an independent agent, we're going to be the best place for you to do it. Because we're going to offer you the best training, coaching, systems, models, and technology for you to grow into being an independent agent. Once you get into this quadrant, we're going to try to show you the benefit of buying into our interdependent value proposition. Because remember what Gary Keller said, interdependence is only a decision independent agents can make. Once we get you over here, we teach you how to think like a true business owner, how to brand and market your own business, how to lead generate at a high level, how to attract talent, how to leverage systems, right? So you can create an exit strategy. And by the way, isn't profit share also leveraging money as well? So guys, if you just want to make a point to somebody real fast, just ask them, what side of the industry you want to be on? The 95% that earns 5% of the wealth, or the 5% that earns 95% of the wealth? And my last shout out for EXP is this. This is EXP. They are teaching independent agents how to leverage stock options and revenue share. Moving forward, this is going to be Keller Williams. We will be the preferred real estate company for the dependent, the independent, and the interdependent agents to build wealth and quality of life at. And of course, we're the only real estate company fighting for the future of your profession. You feeling me? All right, that was good stuff, right? I agree. I totally agree. All right, now I'm going to teach you guys profit share, and I'm very comfortable when I say your leadership does not want you busting this equation out on a cocktail napkin, correct? But you know what? If they knew how it worked, it might inspire them. It might even empower them. So I want you guys to pay attention. When I teach profit share, it ain't about the money. It's about the conversation I get to have while I teach it. All right, here we go, guys. At KW, you have a potential profit share tree. And at KW, this potential profit share tree can go 7 levels deep. Now, this is only going to be in North America. Outside of North America, it's called growth share. It's a whole nother conversation. This is inside North America. You can sponsor an agent to any market center we have in North America. And if you do that, they're on your first level. And that percentage is 50%. If that recruit sponsors someone to an office in North America, they're on your second level. That's 10%. And then it's going to go 5%, 5%, 7.5%, 10%, and 12.5%. So going down 50, 10, 5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5%. All 7 levels will add up to 100%. Now, there are a couple myths around our profit sharing model, right? The most ridiculous one is we're some sort of pyramid scheme. And when I'm done laughing in that person's face, I try to remind them that pyramid schemes are illegal. Okay, they're illegal. We're the #1 real estate company on this planet. I'm going to take a wild guess and say we're not an illegal company. Okay, less than 35% of our agents even participate in profit share. If it was some sort of pyramid scheme, I have a feeling we would all be participating in it. And I hope today we've been able to establish if you never earn a cent in profit share, it's still the best real estate company to be at. It's the effect, as in the KW effect, of being treated like a stakeholder. All right. The other big myth is you had to be one of our founding agents to really take advantage of it. And I'll just tell you right now, I could not disagree more with that statement. Think about it this way. Our founding agents had to convince people we were even a legitimate business model for a real estate company. We got to do that today? No, we don't. Second of all, we were not even profitable for the first 14 years as a company. Those founding agents, they were growing this company on faith alone. Do you guys know that we have blown through the $1.7 billion profit share mark? In the history of this company, we've given back over $1.7 billion in profit share. Now, that's pretty impressive, yeah? You know what's more impressive than that? I'm going to stand in front of you today. I'm going to guarantee it. I'm going to guarantee you. I'm going to give back more than $1.7 billion in profit share in just the next 8 years. Oh, it took 37 years for 1.7. It's only going to take 8 years for the next 1.7. And here's the best part about it. We're still the best kept secret in our company and our industry. You wait till the secret gets out and the rest of these agents start to realize, oh yeah, there is only one company fighting for the future of my profession. You wait till that secret gets out and you see what happens to our profit share checks. Now I'm going to take you through an example. I'm going to be the recruit. I am your recruit. You sponsor me to KW. And for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to say that I do $30,000 in gross commission income in a month. I do about $1 million in sales. Now, you guys understand. Don't you fall asleep on me. We're almost done here, okay? Here's the deal. You guys understand that if I've already paid out my cap, I'm going to keep 100% of this money. I will not be contributing any money to the profits of my market center till my year starts over again and my cap resets. Yeah? So Farah, doesn't that mean everybody's valued the same in the eyes of profit share too? A first-year capper pays out exactly the same amount of company dollar as a $20 million individual agent, right? When they both cap, they both keep 100% of their commission. Now, I'm kind of hoping the vibe you've been getting from my session today is that this wasn't a profit share class. This was a stakeholder meeting. And if you're starting to think like a real KW stakeholder, here is how you need to start thinking. The success of this company you have a stake in. It's not just rooted in being in business with the top producing agents in Houston. No. Actually, the success of this company you're a stakeholder in is rooted in being in business with the most producing agents in Houston. It's agent count. It's agent production. And if all you guys did after this session today was come back to this market center and help turn your non-cappers into half-cappers and your half-cappers into cappers, all of your profit share checks would absolutely explode. Who are my cappers in this room? Here's the deal. I love you guys, okay? I want you to live a huge life. I want you to close as many deals at 100% as you possibly can. But here's the truth. As a stakeholder, yeah, you ain't worth anything to me anymore until your anniversary year starts over again and your cap resets. What I want as a stakeholder is more of your agents in production. That's where company dollar comes from. That's where profit share comes from. And that's where all of our early retirement is going to come from. And if you ever want to turn another agent into a raving fan for this company you're a stakeholder in, help turn a non-capper into a capper. Are you feeling me? Because it takes a village, yeah? All right, back to this example. I'm going to use a 70-30 split as an example. We know at KW a 70-30 split is actually a 64-36 split because you're still paying out that 6% to KWRI. So in this example, I have not capped. I keep 64% of that. I give 6% to KWRI. That's my 3,000 royalty cap. And I will contribute 30% to my market center. In this example, I've contributed $9,000 in company dollar to my market center. Let's say my market center that month brings in $90,000 in company dollar from all of the agents that were not capped that did deals that month. And we're going to say the expenses that month for my market center were $50,000. So my market center that month had a $40,000 profit. Now, guys, are we worried somebody's cooking the books here and manipulating the numbers? Why do we know that? Open book. Who makes decisions on where this profit's being spent? The ALC and the leadership of the market center, right? These are bigger conversations in this equation. We're open book. We make decisions. And just to make sure you're following me today, if this profit number is 0, this equation's over. Our culture starts with profit share. Yes? If this number's 0, nobody's making profit share off of me. Now, hold on tight, guys. It gets a little crazy here, and I'm probably 8 to 10 minutes away from being done. Okay? There's a 3-tiered payout when a KW office is profitable. Here's the payout. From 0 in profits in a month to X dollars in profit in a month. It's only 25% of the profits go to the agents. 75% goes to the owners. From X to Y in profit in a month, it's only 35% to the agents, 65% to the owners. Everything over Y in profit in a month, which is $11,240 in profit, 50-50. What you guys need to hear from what I just said, the more profitable my market center is in this example, the greater percentage of the profits go back to the agents. Our culture starts with profit share. Now, I look at owner profit company-wide. I look at agent profit company-wide. I am comfortable with saying on average, 55% of the owners, 45% of the agents. You do the math in this equation, 22,000 in profits to the owners, 18,000 in profits to the agents. Now, what's so terrible about a real estate company where, by the way, these owners of my market center, they have all of the capital investment, they have all of the risk, they have all of the responsibility. They're giving back to the agents almost the same amount of profits who have no capital investment, no risk, no responsibility. And just think about it, guys. What better way to grow a real estate company than to not only reward them for growing it, now they're vested in the profitability of your company. I don't know. My guess is they'll buy into your culture more and they're less likely to leave. Now, does that make sense what I just said? Now, guys, when you make profit share in a month, you get what's called a profit share statement. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're on the intranet now. You can thank me for that later. I'm just telling you, I've been fighting that battle for like 15 years. So when you make profit share in a month, you need to jump on the intranet. You'll see a profit share statement. It'll show you who contributed to your profit share and how it was all calculated. But when you see that, you're going to see a percentage next to somebody in your downline's market center. Just call it a profit share factor. Just understand this conceptually. Every month, every KW market center calculates their profit share factor by taking the amount of money that month going back to the agents. In this example is 18,000. They divide it by company dollar that month. In this example is 90,000. You do the math in this example. My market center this month has a 20% profit share factor. Just trust me, that's how it works. Here's how you make money. You brought me to that market center. I contributed $9,000 in company dollar. $9,000 times a 20% profit share factor is $1,800 in agent profit share. That's how much money in profit share I generated off of my production. And guess what? Since you sponsored me, I'm on your first level. You just made $900 for doing nothing. You just made 50% of that for doing nothing. And I want to put that in perspective for you. You earn $900 in profit share in a month. That's the monthly passive income equivalent as if you had invested $270,000 annually at 4%. Except you have no capital investment or risk. I'll just say right now, I come out of Atlanta. We are the #1 market in KW. There are many months my market center in Atlanta has a 4 in front of it. Imagine that my market center this month had a 40% profit share factor. I would have generated $3,600. You would have made $1,800. Our culture starts with profit share, yeah? Now, the person that sponsored you to KW, I'm on their second level. They make 10%. They make 180 and so forth and so on. Now, guys, I deliberately drew this to show you your potential profit share tree going down. Here's the truth. Profit share money flows up. So I'm your recruit. I've generated $1,800 in profit share off of my own production. As my sponsor, you make 50%. Your sponsor makes 10%. Your sponsor makes 5%. I don't make one dime in profit share off of my own production. And while I'm thinking about it, heads up, I ain't paying you profit share. The owners of my market center are. Here's a very important point for me. At KW, sponsorship and mentorship have nothing to do with each other. Profit share is a reward for growing this company, period, end of story. Now, do not mistake what I just said as you don't want to make a difference in your recruits' lives. Of course you do. You're vested in their success. But know this, your sponsors owe you nothing. They owe you nothing. They earn every cent they make in profit share by introducing you to KW and growing your market center. When people in this company tether profit share, sponsorship and mentorship together, yeah, you're treating us like a revenue sharing company and you're actually diluting our model. We are all vested in everybody's success at KW, not just the people in our downlines. Yes? Now, if you joined KW before April 1st of 2020, vesting was 3 years and 1 day. You can leave KW after you're vested, go to another company, still sponsor people to KW, and collect profit share. If you join KW on or after April 1st of 2020, vesting is now 7 years and 1 day. And if you go vested and go to one of our competitors afterwards, you will forfeit your profit share. Okay, this was just voted on by the ILC. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you are vested in profit share, you might want to wait till April to decide whether or not you want to go to another real estate company. All right, because there's some more policies coming down for votes at the ILC. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, but who knows what's going to happen. All right, guys, will this guy ever shut up? Yeah, I'm about to. But can we finish strong for the love of God? Okay, yes? Can we finish strong? All right, you ready for the big finish? Give me something. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, here we go. Imagine somebody you trusted and respected. They came to you and they said, hey, I got a super hot stock tip for you. And you are right now one of about 200,000 people that have the option to buy this stock. Hey, this company is now the #1 company in their industry. They did it in only 35 years without spending a dime marketing themselves. They got zero debt. They're going to give back over $1.7 billion to their stakeholders in the next 8 years. And they're about to go through one of the biggest growth spurts in the history of their company. And they're still the best kept secret in their industry. And you know what the best thing about this stock is? Wait for it. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely free. And I'm the guy that's here today to tell you, if you don't start thinking about building wealth through KW profit share, like buying stock in this company, you're going to miss out on one of the biggest wealth building opportunities of your lifetime. I believe to my core, this is Google, this is Amazon, and this is Facebook of the real estate industry. And what I'm about to say, it comes from so deep in my heart. I just want you to know how much I mean what I'm about to say. Whether you do anything or not is absolutely irrelevant. We will continue to steamroll through Houston and through this industry with or without you. The only question is, do you want your hashtag unfair share? Because I tell you what, if you don't want it, I know me and Andrew will be more than happy to take it. And I'm done. Thank you guys so much. Now, we've entered the interdependent part of this class, so it takes two to make a thing go right, okay? So who is going to be bold? Who's going to be the boldest? Share an aha or a question. Anybody that knows me knows I don't have a filter. So if you play along with me, who knows what kind of crazy stuff I might say? Yeah, do it. Yeah. So we have I co-manage a very powerful Facebook group. Who's in that group? Profit Share Mastermind KW. All right, here's the deal. Jump onto Facebook, go to the search bar, type in Profit Share Mastermind KW. It's a closed KW Facebook group. We got 42,000 KW stakeholders in there. I'm just telling you, you join that group. You watch Gary or listen to Gary Keller's podcast and you read the MREA book, Terrence, all the way through. There ain't one conversation you can't have with an agent at any company at any level of production with confidence. All right. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I always call my profit share tree. I say I'm the owner of a virtual market center. It's the same sort of an analogy, except I have no responsibilities or operating expenses. I'm sure Jag can appreciate that. I made $85,000 last year in profit share. Brent Mitchell made 191,000. But the big thing is this, guys. I make it all off my top 4 levels. And like we said before, you came in maybe a little bit late. I know you were here. If you build a wide, time will take it deep. So I've broken through the $800,000 lifetime earning mark. And, you know, every year is about 10, 15% more than the previous year. So there's a reason I'm moving to the Caribbean is that, you know, if I didn't believe in the future of Keller Williams, I wouldn't be moving to the Caribbean. I'm very confident that if I stopped right now, it'd be everything I ever wanted it to be, you know? And I always tell people, there ain't no column on the profit share return on investment spreadsheet for faith. You either believe or you don't. You can never predict who somebody might become and who they might attract at this company. Brent Mitchell, who sponsored 1,800 people to KW, he looked like every other crappy Craigslist lead I got 14 years ago. But he's going to make me tens of millions of dollars over my lifetime and beyond. So you never know. And that's when you're in my downline, you might want to call me. Yeah. 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 Which are you in this office here? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I love this. And by the way, Chad, and let's be real conservative here, Chad. A capper you sponsor to this office, what do you think that they're worth every year to their sponsor potentially? 25K, 22,000? 1,500 to 2,000. So you sponsor a capping agent to this office, which is somebody that sells 8 to 10 houses a year. You could probably pencil in 1,500 to 2 grand a year, every year they're at KW, not to mention who they sponsor to KW. So just imagine for a moment. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So imagine if we gave you 1,500 bucks, $2,000 a year, and you reinvested that into marketing your real estate business. What could you parlay that into? I want you guys to understand, we injected $191 million into our agents' businesses and lives last year. Think about what they were able to parlay that into in GCI, quality of life, whatever you want to call it. All right. So like I said before, and you know, we talk about unfair share. I think I kind of quantified it, but I want you to really understand. We know that less than 35% of our agents even participate in profit share, right? But what we also know is the 80-20 rule will always apply. So that means of the less than 35% that participate, 20% of them will always make 80% of the profit share. And if you do some math, I'm going to be conservative. Say we're going to give back $1 billion in the next 6 years. You want some math? That means that less than 7% of us are going to make over $800 million in profit share in the next 5 years. So what you focus on expands. And the truth is, whether you participate in it or not is up to you. The question is not if, it's who, right, Chad? I don't think there's any doubt that we were going to continue to grow. The question is who's going to get their unfair share. Anybody else have a question or an aha? Can I just yell at you for another couple minutes or something? No, I'm joking. But guys, did you get something out of this today? Okay. I mean, look, you don't need scripts. You don't need scripts. Look, at the end of the day, you're referring something you believe in to someone you respect, right? I mean, you're talking about salespeople. They can smell a script coming a mile away. Okay. Here's the deal. When you believe in this, and I'm going to say this, if you don't participate in our culture, if you don't attend training, if you haven't read the MREA book, if you're not seeking out knowledge and referrals outside your market center, if you're continuing to buy leads from Zillow, you're not going to be able to have an authentic conversation with someone about this company. And what I was trying to do today was to give you some language to hopefully express how you feel. I think you need to get away from scripts and you need to get into being compelled to help people. I mean, guys, when you buy into this and you know an agent is at a dependent company or at another company, you know that they would be grateful to you if you got them here. So what are you waiting for? I mean, seriously, don't you wish somebody had gotten you here sooner? Yeah, I'll come right to you in a sec. Yeah. And more important than that, I mean, just as important as that, Andrew, is that they have a salary person in leadership whose sole job it is to build wealth for them. And I told them before, it's not their job to recruit. Basically, the bar, would you agree, Nimesh, is that they give you a name and number of someone they spoke to. Hopefully, they have some intel on them that will make your call a little bit more productive, right? But basically, if you just say, hey, look, I love KW. Can I have my team leader? Would you be offended if I have somebody in leadership contact you? If you call them, Nimesh, and they answer the phone and they're expecting your call and they know who this person is that you referred them, I mean, my guess is that person's in the shotgun position for sponsorship. Now, obviously, the key is in the follow-up, okay? Because there might be multiple relationships. But I'll tell you this right now. The person that gets that person to the table for serious conversations about Keller Williams is the person that's going to more than likely get the sponsorship. So all I'm saying is we always tell you don't be a secret agent. Don't be a secret attractor to Keller Williams, because I want to make one point here before I'm done. I'll make 2 points. First point is this. I told you guys I've captured over 3,000 leads on my website, right? That knew someone at KW or had a family member, right? And I found out who they knew. I sent that lead back to them, right? I guess the question you should be asking yourself is, why are 3,000 people that have relationships and family members at KW filling out my contact form? And of course, the answer is you're not talking to them. I am, right? So that should make you uncomfortable. And also, don't assume people know that there's any advantage of attracting people to Keller Williams. Don't be a secret attractor. The final thing I'm going to say to you is this. There's a great quote from Gary Keller, and it's my new motto. He says it best: my persistence disguises my stupidity. Think about that for a second. My persistence disguises my stupidity. I am not the best recruiter in this room by a long shot, but I am one of the most persistent and the most consistent. And when you start getting serious about profit share, guys, be honest with yourself. Find a lead generation source that's a fit for your personality, but more importantly, sustainable over time. I love new agents off the internet. I get it. I've had to sponsor a whole bunch of them to get to where I am today. But new agents say thank you when they get off the phone, okay? And I don't like recruiting. I like consulting. So the key is in the persistent and consistent effort over time, all right? Chad, thanks again, man, for getting me here. I hope you guys got some nuggets out of this. Thanks for having me, all right? Everybody on Zoom, too. Oh, God, you had a question, too. What did you want to ask?
4 then 5 is 7.5.
All right, so if you sponsor me to KW, I'm on your first level. I'm your direct recruit. You're my sponsor. If I go out and sponsor someone, they're on your second level. They're on my first level. And it can go 7 levels deep. So you can make money off of an agent who's... Yeah, it goes up. It's interesting because there's a couple of theories about that. One is that profit share was designed to be a retirement plan. And as it grows deep, the numbers go up so that it could be more of a retirement. But I don't really know.
What happens if the number 2 person leaves?
Yeah, great question. Everybody, if there's people underneath them, if they're not vested, they are removed and everybody moves up. So all I'm saying is you could bring one person to KW that opens up a market center or that knows another agent who brings on a team. And next thing you know, you got people 7 levels deep. And the key is over time, you make your most money off the lower levels because there's so many more people, right? So Linda McKissick, who's one of our top profit share earners, Linda and Jimmy McKissick, they earned 1.5.